where we last left off. Our last session, I'll do a quick recap. The party had a massive confrontation on the large stone bridge that overlooks the waterfalls. You all ran into a man named Lucius, who was more or less presented as the father of Branwen in your party. Lucius invited Irina to the castle once again, and he also invited the party to join. After arguing for about 5 or 10 minutes, the party decided not to follow Lucius to the castle, and they got attacked because of it. The fight didn't go so well. Kalmar got his neck bitten pretty roughly and went down on the bridge. Stray lightning bolt did most of the rest of the party dirty, and using your better judgments, you all decided to surrender and follow Lucius, who led you to Strahd's black carriage coming down the road to meet you. You all got in the carriage. Lucius did not get in the carriage with you, and the carriage began off to Castle Ravenloft. About an hour or so after that, you were like, let's ditch this whole thing. And through a valiant effort of Osgood somewhat hearing the plan and shooting out one of the tires of the carriage, which destroyed Strahd's carriage and bucked everybody out in their own way, the party then kind of hauled ass and fled in the other direction, eventually around a bend and through the secondary gates of Barovia out into a mountainous plains-like area. Being tired, being wounded, having had no rest through all of this, you all decided to take refuge on the top of a hill where you could pretty much see the entire surrounding area and rest. When you did this, Kelma had a touching moment. Where did it go? I lost my damn place, sorry. You had a touching moment where you kind of swore to try and protect the party a little bit better, feeling as if he may have failed the party in some way. Later that night, Kelma had a garish nightmare about the doll who is somehow still following him in his thoughts and his mind. The Black Knight returned once again. Branwen gave over the blood, and the Black Knight thanked her and disappeared into the night once again. The rest of the night kind of passed without incident, and you all awoke. Fully rested, restored. At the end of the last session, you all leveled up to level 5. We've already taken care of all that. And we are now in the plains on top of the hill as you all have woken up. What would you all like to do?
I would like to wake up and worship the torch. Sorry.
When did I throw out that torch?
You can more than one point of inspiration at a time. So.
Yeah.
Stroking the torch's ego will not do you any favors. Oh my goodness. Okay, so
to be slightly less of a ridiculous individual, I'm gonna essentially wake up. I start sort of taking a knife and slowly pricking myself in a couple of places, draining the blood into vials, stopping the vials and putting them back into my coat.
Mm-hmm.
I start reading through a small tome of scriptures, kind of like half-heartedly, like I don't really give a shit about it, but I'm doing it for the sake of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sort of get up and pack all my bags and look at the rest of the crew.
Yeah. Kelma, at this point, he's kind of doing his normal, almost like Tai Chi looking morning routine. And then he burst into more of a kind of like an action, twirling his quarterstaff around him in kind of a more of aggressive manner, almost as if he's just like fighting an invisible enemy.
Kata then. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Trovik's eating.
Yeah. I'm just getting rid of the last embers of the fire scene as I was last on watch and watching these weird people waking up.
As Trovik eats some of the still somewhat fresh wolf meat that he gathered the day prior, killing 4 wolves single-handedly. Still a little proud of that. You all kind of rise and gather, put your things away, and Irina kind of looks at you all, wraps up her things, puts her pack back on her back, and just kind of looks around at the group and says, well, should we be off to Vallaki then?
I should mention something before we get in there. The Burgermeister, I don't fucking know his title. He's a pompous asshole. The individual who rules over Vallaki, he is a bit of a thug. Some of you most likely will not like him. I fucking despise him. Keep your wits about you in the city, just in case. I know that he might not try anything with me, but I'm not sure about the rest of you. And he sort of nods to himself. The Church of St. Andrews might be safe. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember too well. We should make haste. And he sort of packs up his bags and wanders off towards the trail, but then just sort of stops and sits and waits.
So, after this somewhat grim morning, the rest of you kind of follow behind Osgood and get back to the trail. And you see in front of you, the fog on the land has lifted in the early morning hours and has kind of cleared away a path in front of you. You see the dirt path kind of winds down the hills and then around a bend. And like you had seen prior, the main dirt road kind of curves around the edge of the forest in front of you and then dives back into the forest off in the distance, some few miles off, say 2-3 miles off. That road also splits down into a different direction, about a mile or so away from where you all are standing. But you all press on and continue on the path in the eventual direction of Vallaki. Okay, so to do this.
Oh no, I don't.
Okay. All right. So
The torch.
the torch. Torch is love. Torch is life.
Oh dear.
So, as you all are proceeding down the path, continue for the mile or so, not impeded. You notice as you've left the territory of Barovia behind the gate behind, it seems a little brighter on this side. It seems just a bit more lively. This area has a bit of hope left in it. As you pass some of these fields, you even see flowers growing in them, which is something you have not seen much of in Barovia as of yet. You all make it to the fork in the road, and you see what appears to be a wooden signpost that points in 2 directions. A path that winds downward to the west, taking a sharp western turn and then heading south, reads the words Old Bone Grinder. And the other pathway that continues to wind around the forest edge reads Vallaki.
Kelma looks at the sign and just kind of chuckles to himself a bit. He's just like, they named something Old Bone Grinder.
Do I remember anything about this?
No,
Sorry.
I would say no.
Well, at least
The
someone
name
had some
doesn't-
humor in this dream place.
I assume it's a graveyard or some such. I've never headed that way before.
Either way, Vallaki's that way, and he just starts walking ahead.
Okay. Is everybody following Kelma? As we continue
Hell
around the
yeah.
bend?
Yeah.
Continuing
I'll follow
around the
along.
bend. So,
Oh, that. It's so loud. Jesus, I need to turn that down.
okay. So, continuing by the edge of the forest. The trees don't encroach over the path at all. There's a huge plains over to your left hand or right hand side, and mostly just open rolling fields. The sky is gray like it usually is, but it's not raining. It's actually kind of pleasant outside for the first time in a long time. You do see off in the distance some heavier storm clouds seem to be growing to the east from the direction whence you came. But you think nothing of it and continue down the path for the next hour or so. It's somewhat peaceful. Irina's kind of keeping to the back of the group. She's still got her eyes kind of... She's wary about both Osgood and Branwyn at this point. Various couple of reasons. But she sticks with the group and kind of continues. Let us see what things happen here. Yeah, let's do that now. Okay, so that's that. Yes. Fun stuff. You all continue, and about 60 or so feet more down the pathway from when you finish that hour, and you see another trail that splits off, and it kind of cuts almost directly into the woods, the west side of you, trailing through the trees, and then kind of disappearing into the depths of the forest. You also have the path that still continues in front of you, and eventually will dive back into the forest at a much more gradual pace. But your direction is west. What would you like to do?
Helmut, since he's in the front, he kind of examines both directions, because I'm assuming we're right at that fork, right? You go.
Yeah, like you've come up to it at this point. Like there's a hard right, or hard left to the west, and then the more gradual bends around the building, or bends around the forest, and then goes up near toward what you can see off in the distance, the lake.
Gotcha. Kalma just stops and he looks off and he just turns to the group and it's like, well, I guess we head down this path, but let's we've been running into too many weird situations. And he takes a moment to look down the west path, but he also wants to kind of just overall run ahead and just trying to climb up, because there's trees everywhere. He wants to climb up a tree to see if he can get a better vantage, to see if he can see anything.
Okay, so make a acrobatics check or an athletics check, whichever your choice, with advantage because of your gloves.
Sure. All right, maybe this time I can actually climb a tree.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you can at this point, you're never gonna climb a tree. So
11.
Hold on, let me do it because I have advantage. Oops,
you have
that's
advantage.
the
You do.
wrong button.
That's gonna be a 1. Just watch it be a natural.
Don't you hate on this man's
I fucking natural. I called it.
What you did.
Oh my god!
Kick him
you just
from the
ruined this
party.
man's whole
Kick him
life.
from the
What do you
party. Kemal turns around and attacks G.
I load my revolver, damn it.
So as you're climbing the tree now,
But,
no, your 11 makes it up. And you find a branch here, a foothold there, and you eventually get to the upper parts of this tree, and you're kind of sitting atop the tree now. You can see that the path that y'all are on, that you're continuing on, bends around and then proceeds. Actually, I'll give you this because you climbed the tree, so you get the thing.
I get the thing.
You get the thing.
Climb a tree, save the girl, save the world.
You see off in the
Darkness.
distance.
I see darkness.
You see darkness. Darkness.
Darkness.
Oh no, darkness.
Evil.
Apologies.
Probably shouldn't go that way.
I know what I'm saying.
I'm begging, encouraging each people.
Okay. Now I see
Apologies.
something.
Apologies. Lighting
There you
setups. As you climb the tree, you kind of get a view in the distance of this massively large city surrounded by what appears to be a wooden wall of sorts. The path that you're currently staying on winds around for another mile or so before it dives back into the forest, and the trees seem separated on each side of what appears to be this path that kind of winds and leads towards this city and the civilization, and that would lead you to about there. Based on the path, you're like up top of this tree, I'd say.
Yeah.
Just as general, like from this perspective.
Gotcha.
And then you also have the path that is currently below you going straight to the west that seems to wind into the trees, but the trees don't seem to be as separated off of this smaller path. It seems like it potentially leads to the same location, but it's not as open of a road.
Okay, so basically there's one open road that goes straight to the town, or another smaller road, thinner road.
Yes.
That goes around.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so I climb.
Based on the clarity of the sky and no fog, you can see all this without having to make a check.
Gotcha. So I climb down. I just go to the party, and I'm just like, well, looks like both paths lead to the same place. It's just one's an open road, one's a small path. So it depends on if we just want to walk to the front gate or if we want to go in with a little bit of cover.
I am quite literally a priest of the Church of St. Andrew's in Valaki. I can probably walk in through the front gate on my own.
Well, if we follow you.
I could probably, yeah. This is kind of what I've been thinking this entire time, but I don't exactly want to bring it up. He sort of shrugs and looks around at the group. Are you all willing to trust me? I'll take that silence as a no. Good. I don't either. And I sort of make my way down the path.
Oh no. Which path?
I'm gonna go down like the gradual sloping path. I get the feeling that whichever one takes me to the front gates would be a bit easier.
Yeah. You just hear Kamal just kind of giggle to himself about that whole thing.
As we're walking, I'm
smirks
taking
quietly.
my mask. Okay.
Oh.
What did you
Okay.
say, Brandon?
Them?
As we're walking, I'm taking my mask off.
Oh. Interesting.
Gaynor, you hear a voice in your head.
Okay.
He certainly doesn't look like a priest. Or a holy man of any sort. Strange.
I mean, does he have to look like a priest?
No one has to look like anything, but threw me off is all. Doesn't seem like he worships me.
Why would he worship you? He doesn't have to worship you.
Do any of us hear?
No. You hear him talking to himself.
That's what I mean. Do any of us hear him
Yes,
talking?
all of you are sitting around.
My name is Van Helsing.
All you hear in the background as Kamal walks ahead is like, fucking mages. He just keeps walking.
All right.
At least one of us is going insane. He's the lucky one.
Do you all follow Osgood, or you take the other path?
No, I guess.
Following on.
Yeah, no reason not to trust him.
Yeah, we have no reason not. I mean, if you can let us in there without issue.
Okay. So,
I don't trust me.
I mean, as long as y'all are following the blind man, it's
So-
okay.
Oh god.
Okay. So, continuing bending around on this gradual slope for another hour and a half. It's close to 2 hours. It's probably about, I'd say, getting around noonish, maybe closer to 1 at this point, because y'all been winding down the path and pretty much going unbothered and unfettered throughout this path. I need everybody except Branwyn to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
What?
Oh,
Oh.
interesting.
Thank fuck for that.
Fuck.
I get the feeling I know what's going on.
Well, that's one of us that knows.
It's the doll, isn't it?
No, that's not mine.
Oh, this is different then.
I lost my character sheet somewhere.
Oh no.
Found it.
Quick,
Nice.
close all the tabs and reopen them all.
You know.
Ah,
Mood.
Okay. Kelma and Trovik. As you all are walking around this corner's edge, Branwyn and Irene are kind of like, I'll say about third and sixth in the line of people walking. As you all round this corner and kind of begin to almost dive further into the forest, you hear almost a melodical woman's voice, almost calling to you, singing in your ear, if you will, and it's beautiful. Almost mesmerizing.
Oh no.
And almost without realizing it, the two of you kind of stray off to the right side of the path a little bit. The rest of the group kind of notices this,
Okay. No,
but
I'm sure.
they do seem to be walking off the path and through a small opening in the trees to the right side of the path.
Oi, what are you doing? Don't go over that. Fuck. Okay, I guess we're going.
Um,
Can I run to try and like stand in front of one of them and like?
sure.
Hi?
Yeah, and as you kind of like sprint in front of one of them and kind of like try and stop them, I need both of you guys to make a perception check, Kilma and Trovic.
Okay. Roll's been terrible today.
As Brenwyn kind of runs in front of Kelma and just kind of like snaps her fingers like, hello, hello. Kelma, you just continue walking forward. Trovic, you kind of like shake and stir a little bit. Yep.
Oh.
And you you kind of like jar yourself out of whatever stupor you were in and just kind of notice that you're now about 15, 20 feet off of the path. And you see this opening in front of you. And I need everybody except Kelma to make a perception check for me.
Mhm.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh
I have
yeah.
Okay.
I have advantage, don't I?
Yeah, but I think you're good with a natural 20.
I think you can't do much better than that guy. I think you'll be all right.
What if I got 2 natural 20s?
And you get a natural 20. And
Yeah.
you just burned a natural
Man.
20, so I would not. I mean, you can. I'm not going to stop you.
I'm not gonna.
I feel
do
like
it.
that would be a fool's errand. Give me a second. I'm sorry. I had a music for this, and now I don't have music for this.
Wow, wow.
I should really mute when I'm eating an apple.
Yep, you should.
Hmm.
All right, sorry. So the rolls were perfect, and average. Okay, so
Average.
Damn it.
so the remainder of you see now that Kelma is about 40 feet in front, just kind of walking. He's fast boy with his monk feet. And you all see through this tiny opening in the forest in the wood, you see a clearing, and then you see what appears to be a lake, about 140 so feet off to the edge of the lake, roughly. And he seems to be walking in that direction. Kelma, you are now entranced and enamored by this beautiful woman's voice, and she seems to be calling you. She seems to be singing, and she must be singing to you. Who else would she be singing to? And as you begin to get much closer, you see there are a number of trees that sparse out as you get towards this lake. And the rest of the group's kind of following behind, looking on, or whatever have you do. If you want to try and stop him again, you'll get a chance to. But
Okay.
I'm just looking vaguely amused.
see a massive willow tree kind of sitting on the edge of the lake itself. And of course I don't have a thing for that. That's fair. Okay. So, Kelma, you see sitting on the branch of the willow tree, down with her foot sitting in the water, is this beautiful woman. Brownish black hair, a few flowers in her hair. smooth, slender face, and she's wearing a white dress, almost like a nightgown type thing, but she has her foot dipped in the water, and she seems to be singing towards you, and she's got her hand stretched out, pointing towards you as she kind of beckons you in her direction. And I need you to make another wisdom saving throw for me, Kelma. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm gonna
Trying to
grab
stop
Kelma.
Okay.
Mhm.
Make a strength check.
21.
There's a chance. Make a strength check for me, Trovic. And Kelma, make a strength check to contest it.
23.
Jesus.
Is anybody else trying to stop? Brandon,
Now
said
you want to freaking roll well.
Yeah, I know.
All the right rolls.
I have shit strength.
He rolls great when he's possessed.
I know.
Yeah, I have a strength of 0.
I have a strength of -1.
Mhm.
Shit. Can I try and fish in his pocket for his ball bearings and like scatter a few in front of him to try and trip him?
Make a sleight of hand check
Oh, no.
and tell me what it is because I'm looking at something else right now. so I
26.
can't- Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, Jesus.
Plus, I'm distracted, so it's just like whatever.
Yeah, I was about to say it's not a hard check.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say you fish around in his pocket while he's kind of walking, not paying attention, and you fish out a couple ball bearings. Sure.
Cool. I'm just gonna put him like 2 feet in front of him, just where I know he's gonna step, and
Uh-huh.
hope he trips.
Okay. Make a dexterity saving throw, Kelma.
Dexterity to the monk.
I know.
19.
What's the rule? 19. Unfortunately, he kind of stumbles over them, but his gaze is unaltered. I need to make one more roll for this, and then we'll see. And then this can get very interesting. Okay, so as you get, and I'll put this about here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've been muted this whole time. Oh my
Oh
god.
no!
I want to
Sorry.
cast. I want to
I was
cast.
wondering.
a
I was
spell.
like, Oprah's being really quiet. What do you want to cast?
I want to cast. I want to cast hold person on him.
There you go. There you go. That works.
Okay.
That'll do. Yep. I'm
Jesus.
gonna huck a pair of manacles. At
So
him
you're
as
probably
well.
sitting there going the entire time going, why isn't no one doing the
Yeah,
spell?
exactly.
I'm so sorry, guy. I was sitting there. I was like, Oprah's being really quiet for this segment where he probably wouldn't be quiet for.
I apologize.
Make a wisdom saving throw for me, Kelma.
Please roll low this time.
The one time you want low rolls. Let's see,
Yeah.
oh boy.
Mhm.
9.
Natural 20.
Yes.
Oh,
No, that's a
He's
fail.
held in place.
He is held in place. And as you are held in place, and all these actions have been taken to try and straighten your head, you bottom right hand corner of this map, by the way. That's up.
Okay.
You are now stranded in place about 20 or so feet off from this woman who's sitting in the tree, kind of beckoning towards you. And she still seems to be singing. You all can now hear what sounds like a warbled melody of sorts. Kelma, you still hear the melody itself, but you have kind of snapped back into consciousness and are now stuck in place, just completely body paralyzed in mid-step, with Trovic's arm kind of like grabbing around you and what appear to be, well, you wouldn't see this, but ball bearings behind you, and you're now just kind of like standing 20 feet away looking at this woman in this white dress.
Kelmal barks out. He's like, what's going on? What happened?
that woman wants to take you somewhere, I think. I'm not entirely sure. I have a pair of manacles I was going to throw at you.
Kamal starts like kind of like his face just gets very sullen, just anger becoming across on his face.
You are somewhat aware now that you have been attempted to be charmed.
Yeah.
You still can't move.
Yeah, I'm still no, I'm just being angry tiefling, perfectly still angry tiefling.
The lady is going to jump off the branch and just kind of stand on the grass area and just kind of smile and wave. And you see a small smirk come over her face. Make a perception check, Kelma, and I guess Trovik, since y'all are in range. Now that she's jumped off the branch and you can kind of see her. Yeah.
18.
So both of you would notice that her face, while it looks like a woman from a distance, her eyes are much too large. Her eyes are almost slitted where the eyeballs are, and then her eye sockets themselves are actually much larger and wider. And she looks like she's human, but at a closer look, clearly she's not. You hear a slight hissing sound come from her. What are you all doing?
I'm gonna try and say, what are you doing in both Abyssal, Deep Speech, or Infernal? One of those three. See if she picks
Okay.
it up.
We shall see. Now I'm curious. Where is it at? Where's it at? Somewhere here. There. Let's see. She kind of looks back at you, smiles, and then responds in common. I was simply looking to dance with this fine tiefling fellow here.
I'll dance with you.
He's not exactly of the right temperament, I'm afraid.
Mm.
Bit too violent for a fellow such as you.
Mm. Kind of like smiles, looks around at the group. She's going to weigh her options. What was that? Torch rolled a 6. Good for Torch.
All hail.
She's kind of going to step back and say, very well. And kind of step off of the beach and step off over the water.
I loosen my concentration and let Trovik, or I'm sorry, let Kelma free.
I highly recommend you don't go one-on-one with her.
Yama just stands there. He just grabs his quarterstaff at this point, and he's just kind of just staring, like unmoving, just staring off in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
She isn't going to do anything. We had best leave.
Yes, it's not worth it. We have somewhere to be.
He nods casually, turns and starts trekking his way back up the trail.
Kelma spits on the ground and just turns around and starts heading out.
Cool. I'm gonna wait until all of the men are in front of me.
And Irina's still standing kind of downwards below you all in this path. Is just kind of like staring, like wondering what the hell y'all are doing. Branwen, as the rest of them kind of walk away and you look back, you see the female figure begin to descend into the water from what she's kind of walking on top of until her entire head, the black hair and all, just kind of submerges.
Okay.
What that is.
I'm just trying to see if he'd think of the thing that I'm thinking of. Not necessarily it being the case, but what he'd think this person might possibly be.
What would you think it would possibly be?
He would say, under his breath, probably some sort of dryad or a water spirit of some kind, as he moves off.
And as you all kind of continue back on the path, not completely sure if you're right or not, you get back and continue marching order into Kelma back in the front, angrily and kind of a little bit quietly leading the party. Okay. That's that. This. Because there we go. Okay. So. And that, and that, and this. Boom. Okay. So. As you all make it back to the path, you continue on up and towards the gates of Vallaki. It's probably another good 2 hours march, winding back and forth and up and down. And let's see, one more thing. Call it a day. Okay. Okay. Let's move. Alright. You're probably about 30 or 40 minutes away from the gate itself at this point on foot. 4. And you notice Kelma being in the front, kind of taking awareness of everything. In one of the trees in front of you, probably about 15, 20 feet off to your left-hand side, you see a large raven kind of perch on one of the outlying branches, kind of over the path itself. It's fairly larger than some of the ravens you've seen in the previous land or the previous territory that was Barovia inside of that gate.
I hold my fist up, kind of like telling everyone to stop, and I point out the raven.
Kind of cocks its head to the side and looks at you all as you kind of look up at it.
Cool, bro. It's a bird.
Yeah, it's a bird.
It's a big bird, the same as those ones in the graveyard, the same as the ones that have been watching us the entire time.
Well, if it is the same as the ones in the graveyard, they helped us. So, what's the holdup?
Kelma just stands there and just he lets the party keep on walking for a second. Matter of fact, he heads towards the back.
Okay. Party continues walking, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll continue.
And he's just looking around now at up on the trees to see if he notices anything.
As you kind of look up at that raven and kind of stray toward the back of the party and keep continuing to look up, another raven floats into another tree, kind of near the group, and just jumps on the perch and kind of keeps eyes on the branch of one of the trees. And then another. And another. Until there are about 6 or 7 ravens in the trees, kind of on the path that you all are walking down. You keep an eye on the large raven, and it flies overhead off towards the walls of Vallaki that you can now see in the distance. And a few more ravens perch on trees in front of the path ahead of you. They kind of, once you pass by, they kind of shift off of the trees they were on and kind of perch back on trees further in front of you again. It's now about 10 or 12 ravens that have gathered, branching from tree to tree around the party. And you all see before you, 20 or 30 minutes in the distance, what appears to be large wooden shafts driven into the ground. There you go. Oh no, what is that? Why is that not a thing? Of course it is. You all break the tree line and get out to the open plain that surrounds this large palisade wall. It's about a 15-foot high wall, heavy, thick vertical logs that are held together with thick ropes and tacked together with mortar, the tops of each of which has been sharpened into a sharp point. At the end of the path in front of you, you see a large iron gate and what appear to be 2 wooden platforms, one on each side, that symbol the entrance to this massive city.
Is the gate open or shut?
The gate is shut. And as you all get closer and closer, drawing toward the town, following Kelma and Osgood's lead. Well, Kelma's in the back now, so Osgood's lead. You notice that there are two well-armored soldiers on the inside of the gate, both wearing a plate metal of sorts and holding large pikes.
Hmm.
And as you all get close to the gate, you hear, "Who goes there?"
Ahoy! It's me. I suppose you would know who I am. A priest for St. Andrew's. Trying to make my way back into the city. I've brought survivors of some kind.
Survivors?
Aye, from inside the territory. They're safe, I promise you that much. On the word of the Dawn Father.
You see the shorter of the two guards kind of go over and take a large key and kind of crank open the interior lock, and the slow creaking of the iron grinds against itself as the gates kind of kick open, and you are presented the entrance to Balaki. The two guards kind of stand there, both holding their pikes and sternly gazing at you.
Much obliged, mate. Not sure when we're going to leave again, but remember my face this time, yeah? And he sort of nods casually and wanders past.
We'll say one thing to you.
Aye,
You know the rules. You don't let anybody in after dark.
aye.
So if you leave, you're out past dawn or sunset,
Mhm.
you're on your own.
Hmm.
Until the morning.
We know the rules. There's a reason why men like us, even of the faith, keeps an assurance on their head, yeah? And he smirks casually.
Yeah, man of the faith. Keep moving.
Aye, aye. And he keeps going.
All will be well.
Mhm.
I smile
And
nicely
as
at them as we go past.
Okay. And as you pass by, get into the city itself. Let's see. We got things for that too. These things. I've got all the things. Super not prepared. Boop. Here we go.
That's what I get for being a resident of Valaki. Any of the information.
Okay. So, as you enter through the gates, you notice immediately that this city, unlike the drab dystopian Barovia, is filled with people. There are numbers of houses, almost none of which are boarded up. People are walking through the streets. There's some trade happening. You see the occasional cart go by being drawn by a horse. At first glance, there seems to be life in this town. The people of this town don't seem to be nearly as burdened as the people of Barovia were. The very few that you actually did see. Irina kind of looks around at the party and just... I believe my brother said that either the Blue Water Inn or the Church of St. Andrew was a place that we could find refuge at.
The Blue Water is one that I've been in and out of a few times. Aye, they have food and sleep. Not much else, though.
Seems all I require at the moment is a room.
Aye.
A place to disappear to.
Was our company really that bad?
Not at all. It's not you I'm disappearing from, dear.
Aye, fair enough. He looks back at the rest of the group. I should probably stop in and say hello to the father for another fucking time. I hate doing this. I'm not exactly the most proper priest in the universe, but it's a job. turns back to the rest of the group. But we should probably stop into the Blue Water Inn first, get her situated, and then figure out what to do from there.
And inns are such good places of information as well.
I suppose so. Cold stone is a little bit more comfortable to me than a warm fire, however.
Kalma's already walked into the inn because he's like, "Why are we standing here?"
Okay.
I mean, do you know where the inn is?
Oh no, I thought we're. I thought we're by the inn.
No.
Oh.
You just walked
You're by the
You're at
gate.
the town gate. So
Oh,
I'll
we're at the
put you on
town
the
gate.
map.
Okay, I thought we were already
I'll
walking
put you on
down
a map
by the
here,
inn. I'm
so
like, so
here you go.
Wanders off and immediately gets lost.
So, I've actually got a party token, so we'll use the party token.
Okay.
Because tokens and things.
Yay.
Hey.
We are a party.
You're a group, actually.
group.
Oh,
Wow.
we are a group.
Incredible.
You're not that
Oh
big.
Jesus, the group is huge.
Oh.
Yeah.
We have a small army.
You gained some members. It's okay. No, that size
Several
group is
hundred
for when
men
you storm the
march
castle.
around.
There's a different group for that.
Yeah.
But yes, you've entered through this gate. The guards have let you pass, and you're kind of meandering down the street. You would know fair well that the Blue Water Tavern or Blue Water Inn is straightforward down the main road, about dead center of the city. You would also know that St. Andrew's Church that you mentioned is over here. Pinging stuff. I hope people have the map wide enough to see.
Nope.
Oh no, y'all killing me here. Widen your maps.
I
You
wanna
walk.
better look.
So St. Andrew's Church down here, almost towards the other gate. And those are the two destinations that you had mentioned. Osgood, you're aware that the town square is around here-ish.
Mhm.
It's a general
The one
gathering
open
place in
area.
town.
Yeah.
I mean, it's town square. It makes sense. The town is yours. What would you like to do?
Well,
We haven't collected a lot of gold, have we?
Some here, some there.
how much
I mean,
gold
I
do
got,
you have?
I got
I
I
plenty.
only
of
have
gold.
150.
Really? You guys have 150 gold? I have like nothing.
I have 100. I have 180.
I think I actually have them.
I have a single silver coin.
Oh,
Wow.
my lord.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
you're
are a
broken.
priest, sir.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
That's fair.
I think
Live
Kelma
that poor
actually.
life, Osgood.
I think Kelma's actually doing somewhat okay for himself. Well, not a lot. He's like 262 gold.
Okay, you actually have more than me.
Yeah.
So is town square count as like the market square, or is that somewhere?
Osgood would basically inform you that the town square has some different general locations.
Like what this?
What this?
There's some basics trading and things like that.
Yeah,
Nothing
so
of any
basically,
particular note.
you would more or less relay to the group that, I apologize, I have town square 4 pages down, so we'll scroll down.
Not a problem.
I have pages and pages and pages. Sorry, St. Andrew's Church. No, that's not it.
Where's the inn again?
The inn is dead center of town.
Okay.
That brown building.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
Have you heard the good word of Electrum?
please.
Yeah. Kelma
Um,
suggests that the group that we might go to the inn first, get settled, and then we probably
Yeah.
need supplies.
I agree.
Well, the day is young, no?
Well, the
He
inn
would-
doesn't mean we're going to bed.
Yeah, no, for
I
sure.
mean, the Dawnfather is quite a bit older than you'll ever be, but
And Osgood would tell you that in the town square there is a blacksmith or two, bowyer, clothing store, a general store. You had heard talk of an apothecary there, but you're not sure about the validity of it. This was the last time he was in town, which was a while ago. So it's, and there are some other stores and shops around the town. Obviously, it's not the only place with stores and shops, but they all do have a centered location in the town square.
Okay, we go to inn.
Go to it.
I mean, I'm following the person that knows the town, so I'm not getting lost.
Yeah.
all right, follow me.
And if
After
you follow
Kalma
him,
just
you
tried
all
to
do not
walk
have
off.
make a survival check. Oh, if he
I,
had kept walking off, I had a survival check waiting to try and see if he knew where the fuck he was.
yeah, I literally thought we were like standing in front of the inn already, and you guys were just talking about it. I'm like, well, the thing's right there.
No, the inn
I
is
was
far off.
fully waiting for him to lose himself in the crowd and just like, all right, well, he's gone. Come on.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me make sure I'm doing everything right. Yeah. So you all continue through the town. Wandering takes you 20 minutes or so to walk down this road. You're not stopping for anything really. You're just kind of going to the end, following Osgood. You all see what appear to be posters or flyers on some of the buildings. You're kind of walking by at a brisk pace, so you don't really take notice and stop and read them. You can if you want, but you all are heading towards the inn, which becomes slowly more visible as you get closer. And I have a thing.
Kind of taking the pace of a person who knows their way throughout the city.
Sure. You can say that.
That I have somewhere to be, and I don't care what anyone else is doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aha, we're in New York.
Yeah.
It
Bump
feels
into
like if
somebody
there was a big city, New York style city, that Valaki would probably be it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm walking here.
Like the people
Bump into
around.
somebody, people just start pulling out weapons. People start getting their fists off. Chicken like falls dead 2 blocks down.
Jesus. And you do notice there are a few more well-armored individuals, some town guard that seem to be walking around and patrolling, keeping the peace. There are few and far between, but you do notice them. As you all kind of round yet another corner of this massive road, you see gray smoke that comes up from the chimney of a large building with an orange roof in the distance. As you get closer, you see the building has a stone foundation. The roof seems to be sagging just a little bit. And as you get almost up to the frame of the building itself, you see that there are a number of ravens that are perched on the roof of the building.
I fucking hate those birds.
A painted wooden sign hangs above the main entrance and depicts a blue waterfall. And I will do this because we are here now.
Just trying to picture how you would depict a blue waterfall.
It's just a picture of a blue line.
It's like 4 black lines in the center of like a blue thick line, and then like
Gotcha.
the splash at the bottom.
Yeah, I get you.
White cloud.
And let me make sure I'm right here, because I'm
Really
not.
trash, childishly drawn sun.
Okay. As you all kind of approach the Blue Water Inn, you notice that on the roof there are many ravens perched, and some even further up. This is 3 floors, so you should all be on the first floor and able to see floor stuff, right? There you go. Boom. Cool. Okay. So, that being said, the entrance is simply a swinging door at the front of it. And you gather from what Osgood has told you that this is one of the main gathering places of the town itself. Huh. Well, called your own grave there.
Let's hope not. Let's really hope not. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Please no.
Yeah, that would be death.
Yeah.
At this point, now Kalma just walks ahead. It goes to the door.
Right, yeah.
I
Same.
mean, we get here and we're just carrying on walking in.
Yeah,
so.
it's just like
Yeah, I was about to say, you're walking into the tavern itself. And as you walk into the tavern...
I might pause when I see the ravens, but otherwise, just continue.
Okay. Sorry, I have to do this.
Oh, damn.
As you all walk into the tavern itself, Irina following behind, it is a bit lively, a bit well crowded for lunchtime at a tavern in the middle of a city. the tables are kind of tight together. You see a number of commoners, regular folk, just kind of sitting around drinking. And I have a tavern sound, so I'm going to find my tavern sound. Here is my tavern sound. Here we go. There we go, tavern sounds. And as you all kind of walk in, you're greeted by the woman behind the bar. She just kind of like shouts out, "Hi! New faces to Vallaki! Welcome! Can we offer you something to drink? Something to eat? Maybe a room?"
Well, I am a priest. I'm not supposed to give me a nail. If at all possible, I'll pay you.
And she kind of smiles and smirks. It's like, even the clergy here need to drink now and then. It is Barovia, after all.
It's been a long couple of days. And then he starts fishing around his pockets, and he sort of realizes he doesn't have any gold, and he sort of glances back at him.
Oh no. Where did
He's
she
like-
go? Did she disappear?
Yep, I appear to have disappeared.
No, he's outside. He's outside still.
Oh, I am?
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
literally standing
Oh.
outside. You're smoking
yeah.
you're smoking your cigarette, staring at Raven still.
Those damn ravens, they
It's
got me
just like-
talking. I'm ordering drinks
is
to
the
ravens
Vietnam
now.
War.
Damn it. Just like pissed
This
off.
is the flashback sitting in the corner staring into a wall.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Everybody make a perception check for me.
Oh god, this tavern's
Hell yeah.
cramped.
It's gonna be grim, yeah.
Perception. Oh, yay!
Yay!
Okay.
I
Somebody
see all the
got it.
things.
All the things.
It all happens to be the same man with the same face wearing the same clothes sitting in the same
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah,
Oh my
no.
god, I've
All
walked
the same
walking into a nightmare.
It's all the same people. So, as you all kind of look around, actually, you would see these guys too. 'Cause I didn't put them in, but apologies. I thought I'd flip those tokens over. You didn't.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Oh my god.
Damn it! I was gonna sit over there. Damn it!
When you said it was busy.
yeah,
like-
yeah. You weren't kidding.
It was busy. Sorry, I was wondering why it didn't seem as busy as it was. So as you all kind of look around, Osgood is kind of getting his drink. She kind of looks over to you. Danica looks over at you and she just kind of smiles. And you see she has long raven black hair and she's wearing a black dress. There are a few what appear to be feathers kind of decorating the dress. They are also black. She kind of looks over at you and asks you, did you want to do the generic brew, some of the Great Mash number 3, or a glass of the Red Dragon Crush? You, Osgood, know that these are different types of wines that this tavern serves.
I
The
stare
Great Mash
directly at
number
him.
3 and the Red Dragon Crush especially.
I'm just gonna look back at you like, hi, everything
I
okay?
raise an eyebrow. How drunk do you feel like getting?
Not.
The first one, then.
That'll be 3 copper pieces for 1 drink.
Oh shit, I have a silver coin. I flip her a silver coin.
And she breaks you chain and gives you 7 copper back.
Hey, I
Or
have
your
7
1
copper.
drink. The rest of you, as you kind of look around this tavern, and it is well filled, you see 4 people in the lower corner just kind of sitting at tables, minding their business, drinking their wine, talking and chatting. You see 2 gruffer gentlemen sitting here. They seem to be having a conversation amongst themselves. One of them's voice seems to be a bit more brash, the other kind of lighter pitched. You see a couple of common folks sitting along the wall, and then you see 2 gentlemen in the far corner, both wearing, one, the bald guy is wearing wolf pelts and looks very heavily dressed, and you can see that there's a spear sitting behind him, perched up against the wall, and the other gentleman seems to have a fluffier poofy coat on. He's got jet black hair, and he's just kind of sitting perched up with a mug of ale in one hand and like kicked back in his chair with 1 foot raised. That was the perception check. I'm just trying to do 2 things at once. Danica kind of looks over at the rest of you all. And, anybody else like a drink?
Kelma sits at the bar, and then he just puts down 1 silver coin, and he just goes, 2 ales, please.
We have ale for days. And she kind of turns around. Are you sure you don't want to try the any of our fine wines? Kind of looks over.
I just kind of stare at her, just kind of like, I said what I said.
Fair enough. She kind of pours you an ale, and then breaks you change as well. So 3 copper for the ales. It is. She kind of looks around at the rest of the group. Anyone else? And you notice that this gentleman here is what appears to be a half elf. He seems older. He's kind of sitting in the middle of the bar. You would
Do I
notice
know
that
what
too.
he's drinking?
You see in front of him is a glass of a very red wine. You're
I'll
not
have
quite
what he's
sure.
having.
She kind of
Pointing
looks
at the old man.
Mhm. I mean, you could reasonably find a chair. There's some larger, some smaller. This map doesn't do chairs justice, but you can stand in the corner if you wish. And Irina kind of
Crouches on
walks
a
in.
stool.
You know what? Oh, okay, never mind.
I'm gonna sit on both of these.
Okay. I like it. 1 butt cheek on each. Just I got school.
The
That's
Minotaurs
fair.
have
Trevic's
butt cheek.
back.
Oh,
Do
God.
minotaurs have
The question.
That is
chonk asses? We don't know. We might be able to find out though. That
Thick.
could be a science experiment.
Dude, I could be thick.
Roll a D100, motherfucker.
Yeah, I know. How many squats do you do a day?
Oh, 22.
22.
Not very well endowed at all.
Nope.
That's unfortunate.
Wow.
You're a much older minotaur. You may have at one point had a donk, but now you say that. In your old age, you haven't really been keeping up with your doing squats every day. But the gentleman is drinking the Red Dragon Crush, and she kind of looks over and says that it'd be a silver piece for a glass of the Red Dragon. She kind of goes to pour it from this very fancy-looking bottle that has the insignia of a red dragon, very similar to the D&D symbol, etched onto the side of it.
Put the silver down on the bar.
And she fills your glass very much so, almost to the rim. Anyone else who wants to get drinks can. What were you saying, Kelma? You were saying something.
Oh
before
no,
we
no, it
broke
was
into
it
jokes?
it didn't matter.
Okay.
Do they serve any teas here?
Sure, we could make something up for you. And she kind of steps to the back for a second. As you ask for this, she's kind of gonna walk this way and through this door, poke her head around for a little bit as she's gone from the bar. And she kind of returns a moment later, and she's like, "We'll get that right up for you. It'll be 2 copper pieces. We're brewing it for you now."
Do you have change for gold?
Ooh, big spender. I can definitely change that. And she kind of takes the gold and does some math and calculating. She ruffles into a... It's not really like a cash register, if that makes sense. It's more like a set of bags and satchels that are under the bar in a small... Like she takes out a small ring of keys and opens up what appears to be a lockbox of sorts and kind of just like breaks the change, makes the change, and then gives you the equivalent of 9 silver and 8 copper. I think my math is right on that.
Kelma waves the barkeep to him.
And Branwen, she also kind of pours you one of the Red Dragon Crush, and she kind of looks over to Kelma. Yes, dear.
How much is the rooms?
For the general rooms that we have, a bed for the night costs 5 silver. That, of course, comes with the general food. I believe the menu tonight is hot beet soup and fresh bread.
How about for
She's-
6 people?
She kind of does some quick calculations in her head. I need to look at the room, see how big they
The
are.
Church of St. Andrews is more than willing to take in visitors, if I remember rightly.
She kind of looks over and she's like, "I mean, you can always stay at the church, but you could always stay here and get food." Kind of smirks.
He's
Yeah,
trying,
they-
he's trying to undercut the bar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. About that. Let's see. Sorry. I gotta do this and that. Yeah. So it'd be. She says she could do it for 6 beds. It'd be 2 gold. 2 gold and 5 silver. I'll catch you a deal. And she kind of like smiles wryly.
I put 3 silver on the bar.
I
3 golds. Sorry.
I look at her and I just pull out 3 gold pieces and I slide it to her. I go, "How about 3 gold? And if anyone asks, we were never here."
Do you take yours back, Brandon, or do you keep yours on the table?
Take it back.
And she kind of takes the 3 gold and kind of nods. Very well then. I'll work on procuring your keys. It's not exactly rooms per se. We only have a certain number of rooms, but we have more than 1 or 2 beds in each room. So we'll get sleeping situations figured out for you. And she kind of like totters off behind the bar once again, fiddling with some keys under the far side of the bar down here. And you all kind of have your drinks, sitting around.
Can I keep an eye on the 2 at the back?
At these 2? Sure.
Eh.
Sure. Um,
I'm just gonna like make sure I'm sat so that I can appear to be talking to people, but still keep an eye on them. I know there's another chair under there, but I can't like.
yeah, no, it's fine. We'll say for the purposes of this room, I'm going to make you all drawings so you can do what you will.
Osgood's mostly just gonna mutter under his breath, look off into the distance.
Okay. And actually, Irene would sit over here, so you can sit there. Under your breath and into the distance. Okay. As you all are kind of drinking. For those of you who got the Red Dragon Crush, the wine is extremely sweet. It is refreshing to the point where you've had stream water here and a little bit of water reserves here and there, but you haven't really had anything this flavorful in this land. And even the food that you've had has been bland, but there's something about it that sparks you in a way that you didn't think could exist in this land. It's very pleasant. For those of you who got the ale, it's not bad. It's just your normal ale. Okay. And as you all sit and drink, you hear the gentleman at the table closest to you all begin to get a little bit rowdy and loud-ish. They're clearly drunk, but they begin talking with each other and arguing with each other. As you kind of look over, you can clearly recognize that they seem to be brothers, or at least related of some sort. One is a bit older, one's a bit younger, but they both seem very... They seem like family. Like they seem to be arguing, but in a brotherly contest more than anything else. And as you keep an eye on the guys in the corner, Branwyn, You see that they are surrounded by some of the townsfolk. A few of the townsfolk are also wearing cloaks that seem to have black feathers on them. But they are playing a game of cards, drinking, sharing stories back and forth. As you look around this tavern in general, you notice there are a number of wolves' heads mounted on the walls. Maybe 4 or 5 in different spots and corners. It almost has a hunting lodge feel to it. And then before too long, oh no, not that. A more gruff-looking gentleman kind of walks out of the back room. He's got a large beard. And he kind of walks over to Danica. Where did everybody go? What the hell happened? There we go. Okay, that's you. I was losing my mind.
That's nice. The lights went out in Georgia.
Yep. And he kind of walks over to Danica and he's just like talking with her and chatting. Kind of looks over at all of you, kind of looks back to her, nods, and kind of separates back off into the kitchen. But for the most part, you are enjoying your drinks. For the first time in a long time, you've been able to get some sense of relaxation in this really shitty land. For lack of a better terminology.
Can I perceive what that dude said to the barkeep?
Sure,
was
you're
gonna
close
say,
enough.
I'd
Make a
like to-
perception check.
Yeah.
I mean, Trevik is right there.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That,
You're just sad about your small tuchus.
Alright. Neither of us.
Yeah, I was about to say neither of you could. And what is anybody else doing? Irina's just kind of like relaxed a bit. She seems to be breathing an air of relief as she's kind of, for the first time, gotten to calm down. And then you see a look of worry kind of come over her face as she kind of sits there and thinks, sipping her wine and kind of sitting to herself.
What's on your mind?
I wonder if Ismark's still alive. I worry that if he is still alive, what's become of him? I just feel like so many people made so many sacrifices to get me out of that blasted town. I wonder, was it worth it?
I've watched so many people die in my life, and I've seen so many people lost. Sometimes there's not a lot of other options one can make. If he is still out there, you have to count your lucky stars that he's still with you. Even if he isn't here right now, there's people out there who are willing to trust you and help you. You have to take that in comfort. Trust me, an old man like me, I never had that option when I was younger. He nods once and turns back to his drink, looking lost, almost.
Kalma is just sipping on his ale, and he's actually more just trying to pay attention to everyone around him, just to see if anyone is like looking at the group at all.
Okay. Make a perception check with advantage. I'll give you that. This is very specific with what you're looking for, and you're in the right spot. So you notice. Ooh, very nice.
Yeah.
So you notice the gentleman beside you, the half-elf gentleman in flamboyant clothing, has kind of been looking over his shoulder a little bit in Irina's direction. Not in any way untoward, but just kind of
The guy right below me, this guy?
Yes, that guy.
Okay.
You notice as well that Danica, the bartender, is kind of kept an eye on your group in general of adventurers that have come in more so than the remainder of the rest of the tavern. And Danica's kind of just gonna lean out, kind of lean over and start talking to Gaynor across the bar. So, if you don't mind me asking, what brings you to Valaki? Other than the safety of our walls and the oh so wonderful festivals we have.
Just trying to get our compatriot to safety.
Safety's one thing these walls do offer. Probably about all they offer, but at least that's what the Burgomaster says.
You don't
I
seem very.
wince.
Can I like insight check her? See if she's like seems convinced of that.
Make an insight check.
No.
It's hard to read.
All right. Now that you've asked me a question, I have a question for you.
Indeed. It's only fair.
What's with all the feather accoutrements on the clothing here?
Interesting question. Make a charisma check, just a general charisma check for me.
That was loud. I'm sorry. I should mute that.
Well,
That's a charisma save.
that's a charisma
Oh
save.
shit!
Roll better.
You got this.
You
You
try.
also have an inspiration if you want to
I
use it.
mean, he did
Yeah, I'll
roll
use my
better,
inspiration. I'll
technically.
use my
You also
inspiration.
have luck, which you can burn all of that if you want to. You have so much luck. It's
Yeah,
pitiful.
I use my inspiration.
Okay.
Oh,
Nice.
there we go.
Wow.
That is very
Nice.
inspired, sir. She kind of like, well, let's say the ravens are good luck symbols. They're very cherished in these lands.
How so are they cherished?
Can you keep a secret?
I mean, I'm one to do so.
So can I. And she kind of smiles and smirks, and then kind of stumbles away and walks off into the back. Actually, she's gonna turn back around and come back to you. So she thought about it.
Circles
shut
around twice.
Yep, she circles around twice.
Starts doing the macro.
I make all the ladies turn around.
It is a high charisma. So, what do you think of the current situation in Barovia?
I think it's dreary and sad.
What do you think of the one who rules over these lands?
That depends on who you speak of. You speak of Strahd.
She winces as you say his name. Indeed.
We all have our own thoughts on Strahd.
Say
Personally,
his
I
name,
have
she
no,
winces again.
I have no real insight on whether or not he truly rules the land, or if he's just here on accident.
A very unique answer for a very unique person. I appreciate that. She kind of shuffles off and begins to head towards the back room.
I'm noticing, is that a half elf still staring at Irina?
Yeah, he's kind of been keeping an eye on the entire party, similar to you've been keeping an eye on the entire bar.
Okay.
He's very well aware. He kind of adjusts his hat that's on his head once or twice, but he continues to look around.
I just kind of with my L, I just kind of under my breath going, Yes, she's very beautiful, but I don't think she's very interested in you.
What do you mean, my friend?
And he turns and just smiles and goes, I see you staring at her. I understand. So,
My good sir,
what brings you to the
I'm
bar?
well in my old age. I have no desire for the throes of a young lady like that.
Well, that's a lie.
I speak nothing but the truth. She's just a very interesting person to walk into this tavern.
How
I do
so?
not see many people who are as interesting as she.
Why is she interesting amongst? And he points and he kind of looks through all the people in the tavern. And he's just like, why is she so interesting?
I can't help think but that I've seen her likeness somewhere.
Do you get around a lot?
Well, I'm not from around here, per se. I've been in Vallaki for a while now, but it's not where I originally came from.
Come-
Looks at you and... apologies. The name is Rictavio. May I get yours? And he kind of smiles and finishes the rest of his wine off, and you see a wide, toothy smirk coming from this old half-elf man. And old by half-elf standards, like he's 90s.
Sure.
Old man.
Can I, since he's a big, wide, toothy grin, Kelma, kind of instinctually considering what happened, he looks at his mouth. Does he see anything?
Nope, just straight teeth.
Okay. He just goes,
One or two is missing, but
yeah.
he's no fangs, no
Yeah.
pointies, no sharpness.
Kelma smiles. He's like, name's Kelma. He holds the ale up. And he goes, I too am a bit of a traveler.
Traveler, are you? Are you an adventurer then? Or do you just travel the land?
Both.
Well met. I did a bit of adventuring back in my day. But I would be lying if I said I came here on purpose. I was traveling with my carnival wagon, and we ended up in this land, and, well, now I entertain people here, because there's nowhere else to go. And he kind of chuckles to himself in a dry, reedy, almost sad laugh.
Kelma says, I understand that. So, if you don't mind me asking, you said you just showed up here. Partake a fog might have guided you here.
Indeed, it was a nasty purple fog, to be sure. It surrounded our caravan, and me and my wagon ended up here. I don't know where the rest of them went.
That's understandable. We have a few of us that have seen that fog before.
He kind of looks around and is like, are you all together then? That's amazing. Most people don't stay together too long in these lands.
Kind of didn't have a choice.
Wait. Who speaks?
Are you staying at the inn then? Kind of looks around.
Kelma just kind of looks over to Osgood, just kind of like like don't say too much look.
He nods casually.
Okay.
So
gonna kind of, yep. Sorry. Go for
yeah.
it.
So at this point, Kelma just kind of turns around with his arms leaned back with his ale. He's like, so since we travel and you travel, are there certain places here that we should avoid, since you seem to be traveling a lot more than we have ever done?
Oh, well. Recently, I've stayed in Vallaki for the last month or so. I went to the town of Kresk. They didn't really want to let me in,
Hmm.
but they're a bit shut in over there. And other than that, I've just been trying to entertain the people here. A little bit of energy goes a long way in these drab lands. But if you'll excuse me, and he kind of looks around, he's like, "Where is that Danica? I need her to. I'll get it later. I've got a show to perform, so
Or are you doing it here or another place?
I usually do it right outside the front of this tavern. I need to get my things from upstairs, and then show must go on." And he kind of tips his hat to you and stands up and begins to walk up the staircase.
Performer in this part of the land.
This time,
Have to wonder.
Kelma sits down. He's like, and he's like, "How many people here?" He just says this whispered wise.
Yep.
He's like, "How many people here do you think came with the purple fog?" He mentioned that too, which tells me that he's very similar to us.
He smirks visibly. You really think the most people here came here by choice?
There's many people here, and
Exactly.
I laugh and go. I'm assuming some came not by choice, but when you have this many people, I'm assuming most people are here because they just happened to be here when it happened.
I'm gonna tell you this straight. As far as I know, probably a quarter of this population came here through the mist. The rest, well, I have no idea.
Hmm.
Some came here when Barovia was taken. The others, I have no idea.
Interesting. He chugs the rest of his ale, and then he stops, and he goes, "Where's the bartender? He's been gone for a while."
He raises an eyebrow. You
Could use that.
think
Carry on.
What?
he looks
Shaker.
at him?
Carry on, Shape.
No, I'm cutting off there. Like I'm not like continuing anything.
Well, we could definitely use our keys so we can see what else is in town.
Yeah.
And the gentleman walks out of the back room, the scruffy gentleman from before, kind of walks over. Grabs the keys off of the lower set and kind of looks over at you all and is like, pardon me, we've prepared a couple of rooms for you upstairs. You are the ones who got 6 beds for the evening, correct? And he's much more gruff. My Roll20 just shouted out, so that's pretty fun.
Kalmar just stands up to the bar and just takes the keys out of his hand. And he's just like, "Yes, where are they?"
So when you go up the stairs, there is. I apologize. So if you go outside the building, there's a staircase on the exterior. You're going to lead up the steps through a door. The rooms that you've got are the 2 at the very end of the hall. And as you all kind of question the staircase outside of the building itself, you do see that there is a upper floor balcony to this room, and there does seem to be a door roughly here on the second floor and kind of leading outward to some other location. And now you do see the doors on the ceiling. As you all are taking the keys and getting the keys handed to you, the gentleman's going to ask, so, what do you think of the wine? kind of got a concerned look on his face, but he asked anybody who got the Red Dragon Crush what they think of the wine.
It's quite delicious. I can't remember having something like this for quite some time.
You see a wry smile kind of come over his face. He's like, "Oh, well, that's excellent news. I'm glad to hear that. The wine is some of the only thing that keeps most of these townsfolk going nowadays. We don't have a whole lot of pleasant things to live for, but these fine wines are definitely one of them."
Where does it all come from?
We usually get our shipments from a place down the road, little ways between here and Kresk. It's called the Wizard of Wines.
Interesting.
Recently, we've not gotten our last 2 shipments. We are actually quite close to running out, as it serves. I don't know what could be holding up the shipments, but it's not like them to be late.
I give a knowing glance at them.
Sorry, I'm just taking a look at something.
If we were to bring you the shipment that you're due, would you be willing to pay a supporter's fee?
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah, sure. Besides, this is Barovia. Who the hell knows what's going on? Oh,
Would you roll?
nah, like a 6. Nothing worth it.
Okay.
Can I use my inspiration here?
You could, if you wish. Yes.
Okay. I'll use my inspiration.
And then a 1.
That's a 13. It's
Okay.
actually better.
That is better. Let's see, just for giggles. Okay.
Wow.
So, kind of leans forward and I can give you free room and free food and free ale if you bring me my wine.
I
Is
glance
that
over
enough
the
of
rest
a
of the
deal
party.
for you?
For me, yes, but I'm not sure about the rest of them. It's up to them to make that decision.
If you all are an adventuring group together, it would be free room and board for all. And
Seems reasonable.
do any of you have a map? If you do, I can
I've
mark the
rummaged in
location.
my bag.
And he will kind of look at it.
I forget who has the map, but yeah, we have a map.
It's me.
It's always there. He kind of looks at the map. He's like, "So you got a map from them, huh?
Hi.
Not that surprising. They've got all these locations marked in slightly wrong places." Just kind of grunts and gruffs and seems to be bitching about the Vistani. And he kind of marks the location on your map. And I'll give that to you during the break. But he
Yeah,
kind of marks the location of the Wizard of Wines winery on your map. And he's like, the sooner you can arrive with the shipment, the better. We probably have about 3 or 4 more days worth of wine left, and then the town is going to start to get real cranky without their drinks of choice. We are not the only ones missing the shipment. There are a few other taverns around the area who could benefit from this wine as well. Ours is, of course, the most important.
He smirks.
Smirks.
So, the south, the forests to the south, do mutual friends still exist down there?
DM to player, what are you in regards to?
The Vistani camp.
Okay. Somewhere in those woods.
Hmm.
He kind of
You haven't
turns
moved
his
on?
nose up at the question. He's not, again, particularly fond of Vistani in the first place, so he's
Mm.
not too eager to
Fair.
know where they are or what else they're doing.
Mhm.
He's just gonna look at the group.
Gives
Well,
a nod.
I need to get back to the kitchen. Dinner's being prepared for the entire tavern. I'll leave you to your mission and whatever things else you must do. But your rooms are where I said they were, on the second floor. One room has 4 beds, the other has 2. And I pray you're successful on your journey. He kind of smiles and gives a nod and thanks him. And for what it's worth, may the Dawn Father be with
Amen.
you. He kind of totters back off into the kitchen. Gaynor,
I
you
kind of
have a
scuff
voice
at
in
that.
your head.
Mhm.
He worships me? That's amazing.
Just kind of
I
shake
knew
my
this place was familiar in some way.
I look at Osgood and I'm like, and I kind of go, so you work at the church, right? Work for the church?
Work for, yeah, priest.
We should probably
Have you ever seen a
resupply.
priest work with blood?
That's true.
I suppose we should actually head up there. We might be able to get. I don't think I'm going to be able to restock my holy water, but the other things I can probably handle.
Look over at Rena. I'm like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna stick with us, or are you here to stay?
I think I should at least go and pay my respects to Father Petrovich. My brother said that he was one of the good folk of this town. They said to seek refuge with Petrovich or with the people of the Blue Water, so I think I will keep the room here, but I will join you across town.
Okay. Think
She
I'll
kind of looks
definitely-
around. She's like, as safe as people say this place is, I also believe in strength in number. If you'll have me.
I don't believe you have any reason to doubt.
I will say, and she kind of pulls out a sack of gold that she's had tucked into her vest pocket. I will say though, I will no longer be a burden on you all. You've gotten me here to Valaki as promised, and what I have is for you. And she kind of sets the sack down on the table. It clinks heavily with coin as it kind of splotches on the table.
I'll pick it up
Osgood,
and start counting.
yeah.
And I'm making
Osgood
sure
looks
no
over
one
her
is
eyes,
keeping
Rena.
too much of a good eye on us while that's happening.
Make a perception check for me. Brenwyn, because you're keeping an eye out. Gaynor, you count, and as you kind of weigh the heft of this bag, it's probably about a 10, 15 pound bag of coins. It's pretty fucking hefty.
Jesus, of gold?
Of gold and silver and other
Oh.
bits.
It's a lot.
As you look around, the 2 gentlemen in the corner, their ears kind of perk up when they hear the clinking and exchanging of gold. But they don't seem to stare down or look too hard. They seem focused on their card game. The gentleman here, however, seem to take a little bit of interest when Irina pulls a large sack of coin out of her purse, or out of her vest, and kind of hands it to you all. And you notice, walking along the side of the room and back out to the front of the tavern and outside of the tavern is Drigtavia. As he kind of walks out in front and disappears outside.
Okay.
So,
I
You've been
should mention to you, Miss Irina, we aren't just doing this for the job. If you ever need us, come find us. Yes?
Kind of looks around. Very well. I will keep that close in mind.
Aye. As much as some of us might be odd, we are good people at heart.
I try to gauge her reaction as he says that.
Kind of. I need to remember that Osgood has 3 eyes on his fucking head.
Oh, fuck yeah!
Oh yeah.
I've probably hidden it under hair at this point.
I would assume so at this point. You're trying to cover it. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck,
As
just to
best
be
as I
safe
can.
and savory, because I'm not going to be a dick. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was a lot of interactions.
Oh yeah, shit, that gate would have.
hmm I would say he was smart enough to cloak up. We'll just found that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not going to go back and redo an hour of bullshit.
Yeah.
Sorry, my fault. I will be better about that as a DM. You gauge Irina's reaction. She's understanding that y'all mean well. She's still a little wary, but it's hard to gain trust in this world from anybody, and you sense that she's traveled with y'all long enough, and she kind of trusts y'all. Even after everything that's gone on, she would trust y'all before she would trust strangers in this. It's kind of the vibe you.
Cool.
So, are you all off to the church? Or up to your rooms, or where are you going?
I suggest that we start looking for equipment and resupply first, and then
Yeah.
head to church.
Kelma nods and just starts
are
getting up
you-
and starts heading towards the door.
Are you keeping all your stuff on you? Are you taking anything up to your rooms, or are you just keeping the keys?
Hell no, I'm not leaving stuff in a room.
No.
Figure that ass.
No way in hell.
Figure that ass. Calm your shit.
Um,
So all of you kind of make your way outside, one by one by one. What were you saying, Gaynor?
I kind of want to. We should probably ask Osgood if he knows where. So I look at Osgood. I'm like, hey, do you know where there's a place where we can resupply or possibly look for some equipment?
Do I know if the church is willing to sell holy water? Because that's the thing that I personally want to resupply.
The
And
church
B,
is
if-
not. You would know that. The
Yeah,
church does not
I'm-
have holy water in some time.
Yeah. And then I guess the other thing would be whether or not there's any general stores.
You would know that there's a general store that's usually well stocked in the town square. There are a few others, one to the north ward of town and one far past St. Andrews, almost towards the edge of the town on the west side.
Since
Okay.
Kelman's outside
Nods.
and he sees the Mr.
you see
Performer,
Octavia.
I just walk up to him and I just kind of just ask him real briefly, like, do you know good places to go to resupply since you travel a lot?
So, let's retcon that real quick, because as you walk outside, you see Rictavio, and he has kind of put up is posted up near what appears to be like a wooden table of sorts, and there seems to be a small curtain around the edge of it. You didn't really pay attention to it when you all were walking in, but now that he's standing by it, and a small group of children and a few young adults of the town are kind of gathered around, and you see that he is putting on what appears to be a puppet show.
Oh, okay. So he's already busy. Okay.
Yes.
He glances. Osgood would then relay the same information roughly.
Okay. I was just trying to see if like he might have known like the best
No,
place
and-
to go.
In normal circumstances, he probably would, but yes.
Yeah.
He probably would.
I didn't put the kids here because reasons, but he is
Yes.
performing a puppet show of sorts with
The
what
children
appears
look like
to be
30-year-old
2
men.
or 3 marionettes.
Is he like panhandling? Does he have a place to put money?
No place to put money.
Alright.
Seems to be doing it for the entertainment value of the children.
Gotcha.
If you'd like to pay attention to what he's doing, you can, or you can continue to walk on by.
I'll pay attention.
Yeah, I just kind of stand there and just watch the show for a little bit.
Stop pacing, fool. Talking to Yuchi.
I'm very aware.
I know. No. So, make a perception check for me. Kelma and Gaynor, since y'all are standing and actually focusing watching.
Guess I'm not very interested in the show.
I mean, it's small
Super
little puppets. They're hung by marionette strings and they're kind of moving back and forth. And you notice that he's relaying some sort of a folk story or a children's story. In one hand, on one side of the little stage itself, you see two small puppets, two small sack puppets that one has a pink dress on and one has a blue shirt on. And then you see what appears to be another puppet of a heavyset older woman, based on the sack puppets. And you see the two children puppets kind of be walked over in the direction of the heavier set puppet, and then they go into what appears to be a house, staged house on the theater set. Eventually, he shows towards the inside of the house. The two children puppets are now in a cage, and basically it's the grim telling of a Hansel and Gretel story, played out in puppet form.
I was gonna say.
Appropriate.
There isn't so much of a happy ending as the wonderful Disney movies and things would allow you to believe, but the puppet show kind of comes to an end and resolves, and some of the children kind of clap, and a few of the others just kind of like stand and stare. But yeah, it's Gaynor, you notice as he begins to put some of the puppets away, you notice a small tag kind of falls off of one of them and lands on the ground, almost at the bottom of like this stage frame area. It seems to be a designer tag of some sort, or a maker's tag, as he's kind of putting the puppets away into the small, what you can now see is almost like a briefcase that he's got with him.
Oh boy, even more
Alright.
puppets.
Can I pick it up?
Sure.
Hell yeah, pick it up.
As you bend down and
Even
pick
more
up the
dolls.
tag and you kind of look at it, it reads, "Is no fun, is no Blinsky."
I want to die. What?
And then as the kids kind of totter off, you see, I mean, you all are kind of standing there, but he kind of takes his cane and taps the edge of the wooden theater stage set, and it begins to fold in on itself, and then becomes almost wallet sized by the end of it all.
Huh.
And he puts it into his handbag. Looks up and is like, "Well, I think that went well. Most of the children, they clapped. That was good. It was a good show."
I mean, it might help if you weren't so grim.
What
Might get more
usually
claps.
happens?
It was a cautionary tale, my friends. As are most of the tales that I tell with the puppets. What I have in my carnival wagon is a little more lively. I don't often pull that out except for festivals.
When's the next one?
It's a good question. They recently just had the Wolf's Head Jamboree not too long ago. I would expect the next one would be in a few days' time, I'm sure.
I imagine as
Seems
much,
like we
yeah.
have a festival around here almost every week.
It's kind of the point, yes.
Well, he kind of looks over at Kelma and is like, "It was very nice talking to you, my friend. If you are staying at the inn, I am as well. Hopefully we shall run into each other again." And he kind of gives a halfway bow. Kind of stands up, takes his briefcase back with him, and kind of walks back into the tavern.
Okay.
Two shops.
Two
To the
shops.
shops. All right.
2 shops to go.
So, back to a map with a map and a map.
Yay, it's a shopping episode.
Shopping episode.
I actually
The
prepared
the best ones.
always.
As we
Um,
go, can I look at the guy with the giant ass fucking bag of gold and ask him for some money?
Well, I mean, we're gonna split that, or
Yeah,
I
How's it
imagine
working?
as much.
I just don't know how much
Um,
we had 'cause he didn't say.
right. I'm getting to that.
6 days, yeah.
Let's see. Five times.
We have 14 gold.
Sweet.
Every gold piece weighs a pound.
That's a big ass gold
that'd be
piece.
too easy.
Yeah. it's a big ass-
That is. Sorry. And then that was, so that is 5,
4 ounce
10,
bar of silver already costs about
19,
15
so
bucks.
that is 190 gold and 300 silver.
Ooh.
And
So,
Uh,
100.
30
90,
copper.
330.
I'll
So
put it in the.
38,
I'll start doing the calculations. Give
38
me a
gold
sec.
apiece.
190 divided by
You
6.
do you.
Yeah, there we go.
What did I say? 190 gold.
It's 220 gold.
300
Oh.
silver divided by 6 is 50 silver each.
Math.
And then 30 copper divided by 6 is 5 copper each. So in total, our grand
of
total
which, you know?
split. Nope. Our grand total split is 31 gold, 50 silver, and 5 copper. And somebody gets a sixth of a piece. Or
A sixpence.
2/3 of a piece.
Wait,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What was that?
31 gold, 50 silver, and 5 copper. Somebody gets 2/3 of a piece.
Now the question is, does the old man get the whole amount, seeing how I didn't start with it? No.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just joking.
Wow.
No,
I'm just joking.
I'm taking
What a
31 gold.
dick.
But currency.
Oh my goodness. Fair enough.
31 gold.
Let's take a short 5-minute because we're getting to about that point. We've been playing for about 2 hours now, and so we'll take a 5-minute break and then we'll get back into it. We are back from our break, and we were traveling through the town to the town square. You would take. Oh wow, things and stuff. Yep. So you would take the path down here to get to the town square down in this area. Oh yeah, I should probably stop sharing my screen. That would be bad. Okay. You might see all the fun stuff you don't want to see. And then as you meander down this smaller street, the buildings are a little tighter here, but nothing completely out of the ordinary. You're going toward the town square where there are, you've been told there are shops and an armorer and clothes designer, for lack of a better term, and an apothecary and a few other stalls and shops. As you're walking down the road, you notice a building on the right-hand side of you as you're going down the road, and it has what appears to be almost looks like a clown's face on the sign itself. And then upon closer inspection, you see the word Blinsky's above the building's name head. You all passing it by as you're going toward the center of town. Continue on and eventually get to the town square. Let me look at my maps and figure out what town square we're going to. Okay. So, as you get to the center of town, you notice that in this rounded area, which is the town hub, of which there is a fountain off to the center. There are a few crossroads and back forths and things like that, but this is the main hub area of town. You see a platform where a town crier would normally be standing on top of, calling out information of the day or something like that. And you see a few general stores and businesses around the perimeter. You see one sign that has an anvil on it. You see another sign that has a bow and arrow and 3 arrows notched inside of the bow. You see another sign a few buildings down that has what appears to be a few potions on the sign of it. And then another sign that seems to depict a dress. And then you have another sign that just seems to have like a large sack or pouch on it. You can gather that these are a blacksmith, a bowyer, an apothecary, a clothing store, which there are a couple of, and then a general store for all your general wants and needs. As you're walking through town, you see a few more of these flyers and posters up on the various buildings and things like that. Let's get out of that. Let's do that. Let's get over here. And we're here. So, in the town square, you are kind of just walking around, walking through. And you notice several shops and buildings and things. Irina's still with you guys. It's kind of appreciating the town. You hear the talk of folks and people. You see a number of cats running around the alleyways and jumping up and down.
Cats.
Happy kitties. Many more
Sleepy
than are
kitties.
depicted here as tokens, but they're just kitties.
Little Lucifer.
In the center of town, what would you like to do? Bottom right corner, by the way, for your tokens.
Yeah.
Mm,
You said that we're right there by the like a potion shop, right?
Yeah, there's a shop that has a potion on the door. That would be here. I mean, you kind of like strolled through this part of town, so I'd say y'all are actually probably about here in the intersection.
Okay.
You see a potion on the door of this place. You see, this seems to be the clothing place. Further up the road, up here, you see what appears to be the anvil. Seems like a blacksmith shop of sorts.
I
General
can't
store
move
further
that.
down the road.
That's where I'll probably end up now.
Yeah, I walk over to the potion shop.
Okay.
It's like this one.
Okay. So, as we all do all the different things, I didn't even see what you sent me, Cheese, so I'm gonna have to look at that real quick.
Oh, what? I didn't
Apologies.
send you anything. I don't
You
think.
didn't. You asked me about something.
No, I just no. I was heading over to the anvil.
Yeah, no. Okay. So, where did everybody go? 'Cause I've now
Did
lost
Trevor go to the
everybody.
cat?
That's what I was about to say. Everyone's going to the store. Trevor went to the cat.
Okay.
And Irina stood in the street.
Pet the cat.
Irina's just kind of like standing on a corner, kind of near y'all, but admiring the whole thing. Okay, so what did I say in order? I said potion shop.
Yeah.
I need to do things for my own GMIs, or I'm gonna forget this crap. So, pardon me. Un momento. I'm such a good DM. I didn't have any of this properly writ. P. That's an armory. Gaynor, what did you go to?
The clothing store.
Clothing store. And general stores there. And Bowyer's there. Okay, cool. Got it. Now I got it written so I know. Okay, so let's start with let's go clockwise. So we'll do the clothing store first.
Sweet.
So as you walk in, you notice there only seems to be one lady working the store, and the store does have a number of different types of fabric and cloth. Some shirts, some pants, some dresses, some skirts. The lady behind the desk or whatever is folding shirts up, and they're not fancy for the most part. They're practical. They're linen white shirts. She has brown hair and an almost like flooped out kind of dress, like a long dress that goes down to her feet, and she's kind of just tending to the store itself. She kind of looks up as you enter, like, How are you doing today? Is there
Doing
anything I
just-
can help you find?
Doing just fine, trying to improve my garments.
Looks like you've been out on the roads a bit. We've got various types of cloaks and cloths and a few different styles of trousers and shirts here and there, depending on your size.
I'm gonna go
What are you
look
looking
through
for?
look through the cloaks.
There's an assortment of cloaks, some half cloaks, some full cloaks. Different colors, greens, browns, blacks. A lot of darker colors, not a lot of fancy flashery colors. You do notice that a couple of the half cloaks are like, they come down to like the middle of the back, are more fancy, I guess is the right word. Almost like they're black, but then they've got like a small thread of what appears to be like a yellow lining around the trim of it, if that makes sense. Like,
Right.
somewhat
Yep.
fancier, but those are just the short cloaks. In long cloaks, she's got black, greens, dark green, brown, one like midnight blue cloak.
Pick me up one of those short cloaks.
One of the fancy ones, the regular ones.
Yeah, one of the fancy ones.
Okay. And she kind of looks over. She's like, "See, you've got some fine taste. That's gonna be 3 silver pieces for that cloak."
Okay, I hand over 3 silver pieces.
Kind of smiles at you and nods. If you're looking for anything else, we've got some more recent stuff that we've gotten in. We've got some wolf's pelt trousers. We've got a few finer leather boots. So kind of like notice your style and taste and is kind of recommending and suggesting some of the finer items that they have. Some
Yeah, I'll
of the
pick up
fancier
some of
models.
those leather boots. Yeah.
And they are like a black leather. They are going to be 4 silver for the boots for the pair.
Okay.
2 for each boot. But you can buy 1 boot if you're feeling froggy.
No.
No. And she kind of gives you the boots, makes the transactions back and forth.
Is
You
there
looking
anything
for
else?
anything else?
Is there anything like more durable than what I'm currently wearing, like shirt or pants wise here, or would I have to go somewhere else for that?
Are you looking for like heavier clothing, or say like cold
yeah.
protective? Or are you looking for like?
Uh,
She does have some like heavier shirts, pants, clothes, and things like that that are made out of like wolf's fur and fur from creatures that have been hunted around the area. It's definitely heavier than just like your regular cloth shirts
Right.
and things. Like they have light clothing, they have heavier wears for like winter weather, as there are a lot of mountains around this area.
Yeah, I'll
What are you
pick up
looking
some
for
of
per
like
se?
the winter wear, like the warm stuff,
Okay.
shirt and pants.
Yeah, it's gonna be 8 silver for the warmer shirt and the warmer pants. But they are well insulated, and as you kind of feel and check out the texture, they are at least 2 to 3 layers of like the inner layer is like wolf's hide, and then some wolf's fur outside of it to insulate it and better make it. It's very woodsman barbarian-y type heavy clothes, but they serve the purpose. They would keep you warm in the cold.
Yeah, I'll pick up those and throw them in my backpack.
Right. Are you shopping for anything else in the store, my friend?
No, I think that's it. I thank her and I head out.
Nod as you head out. You're back on the street. I'll get back to you in 1 second, my friend. We're gonna stop there with that. Clockwise, that is Osgood. As you walk into the armory, or the place with the anvil hammered up, you see a small, very small forge sitting in the back, and you see a larger man with like a handlebarish mustache kind of sitting there, hammering something over the anvil itself. Seems to be pounding some sort of piece of metal into what you can perceive to be a sword as you approach. And you can just... what can I do for you?
Hello, good sir. I have a rather odd request.
Well, you're a rather
You
odd
see,
fellow.
I am. I am from the Church of St. Andros, but I do not fight with holy magic. You see, he pulls out the revolver and flips it open, revealing an empty chamber. He looks down at a pouch and opens that to reveal basically nothing in there. He's like, I need to buy a bit of metal from you. He closes the revolver cylinder and sheathes it. I don't suppose you have any that you can spare that I can work?
I've got spare metal.
Lovely.
Using my forge.
Aye.
That's
the
gonna
issue,
cost you. Yes. You won't do much without a mold in the first place, but
He thinks for a moment. Molds probably aren't necessary. See, what
kind of
revolvers
raises
use,
an eyebrow.
they use balls. Little round, almost, you know of cannons, yes? I don't know if those are a thing in this. Suffice to say, they're little,
He just kind of
almost what
turns
look
his
like
head and
marbles.
looks at you like, hell?
They're like marbles of metal. I just need to make 30, 40 of those.
It'll be 10 gold an hour to use me forge.
That's fine.
It'll be 1 gold for the metal you say you need.
He pulls out 11 gold and passes it over. Shouldn't be much longer. If it is, then I get the feeling that we're both doing something wrong here. And he smirks.
He kind of takes the bag of gold. He says, "Give me time enough to finish this blade." And he kind of continues to hammer on it.
Yeah, he nods.
And the forge is yours.
Aye. Do you...
You pay by the hour.
Aye. Do you carry things like... I suppose it's not. Never mind. Don't worry about me. Alright.
Alright.
It's
And he
working.
goes back to
Yeah.
hammering the rest of the sword. After about 10 more minutes of pounding into the sword and the metal, he gets what appears to be the shape of a blade out of it. And he quenches it in the water. And then you get more or less the run of the forge while he kind of steps off to the side and goes and starts to look at some of his inventory and make sure his shelves and stocks are right.
Alright.
For 30 pieces of ammunition, it's probably going to take you about an hour to 2 hours.
Yeah, I was thinking that it would take me an hour.
Make a... Make an intelligence check and add your proficiency. That'll determine
Okay.
how
Intelligence
quickly you
is
can make
plus
this.
proficiency. Intelligence is at a +2. That's 21. Adding my proficiency, which is +4, I think, at level
Should be
5?
+3, I think.
+3? Alright, so
Yeah,
that
so
would
that's
make it a
24.
24.
Yeah, so quickly enough you could probably in just under an hour make the 30 pieces of ammunition that you'd need.
That's about what I'd want.
Mhm.
At the end of the hour, he sort of looks at the man. He's like, "Pleasure doing business." Slots it into a pouch, sort of loads a couple of bullets into the pistol before sheathing it again, and we'll leave without another word.
Okay, so you are stuck here for an hour because that's the duration of your hour while everybody else is doing their stuff. This is a heads
That's
up.
pretty much how it is.
That's fair.
Yep.
I'm just letting you know. I want to make sure you're aware. Coming down clockwise, Kelma and Branwyn, you kind of both walk up to the building with the potion bottle and the sign outside of it. And as you enter, you see a rather slick-haired gentleman. He's got black hair, and it kind of seems to be slicked over to the left-hand side of his head for the most part. He's sitting down in a chair, and he's kind of wearing like a brownish robe. And as you all enter, he kind of stands up and just, "Oh, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Varkovich Apothecary. What can I get for you today?"
Roman looks at Kilma.
I think, considering the situation, I think some type of healing or some way to treat wounds would be best.
Very well, let's see what I have. And he kind of goes under the desk and to one of the cabinets on the side and just kind of starts rummaging through some things. You hear some bottles clanking back and forth.
I look around just to see if there's anything interesting in the shop itself.
And as you kind of take a peer around, make a general investigation check for me, actually.
Sure.
Brandon, are you doing anything while he's looking for healing?
I'm
You're
waiting for
also
him.
looking for
'Cause
healing?
I'm looking for stuffs. I'm looking for my stuffs.
Yeah.
Yep, understandable. So you notice some oddities and random things floating in jars. Seems to be a jar that has a couple of eyes floating in it, some type of creature of some sort. A few random odds and ends and bits and bobs. You see a table that seems to have a number of different like crushed herbs in like little containers for the most part. Different colors, types. Nothing strangely out of the ordinary. It's your general apothecary from what you can tell just from the outset look. As he kind of goes through some of his things, he's like, well, I don't have any healing things on hand. I could attempt to make something for you, but
How much would that be?
based on ingredients needed and I'd say to be about 5 gold pieces.
Or would that be like for like a small healing potion, or?
So it would be something a little bit custom concocted, but it should do the trick.
I look over to Gwen. Just like, what do you think?
I'm sure the man knows what he's doing.
He's like, okay. And I think about it for a second. I go, how many can you make?
And he kind of like looks over at some of his ingredients and some of the herbs on the counter. He's like, I could make 3, maybe 4.
And he leans back and goes, how about, he said 5 apiece, 4, that's 20 gold. Since this is custom, and we don't know the effectiveness of this, how about we cut a deal of, say, 17 gold for 4?
You drive a hard bargain. Let's say 18.
Kelma thinks for a little bit. Sure.
All right. And for you, ma'am, what can I help you find today? As he kind of grabs a few bottles and begins to start concocting things and things.
Yes, I'm looking for some specific herbs actually. Some of them are a little rare, so, but who knows what you have? I'm looking for bloodroot. I know that's very rare, but
afraid I don't have any blood roots.
Hmm.
I know there's I know there are a few wild cases of it growing, but I haven't been able to get out to them. With the city being in the state it is and all.
Also some Delrian, hemlock, henbane, and lavender.
Lavender we have. Lavender grows all over the town. I can definitely get you some of that. Hemsbane. Let me see. And what was the other one you said?
Hemlock and Delrian.
I will go check. And he kind of sets the bottles that he was working with down, begins to gather some ingredients for those, and then goes to another cabinet in the back and begins to look around. Damn it, now I had an entire ingredients list for you. No, I don't. Let me just figure out where stuff. I know we had it somewhere. I'm just losing my mind now.
Kelma leans over and whispers to Gwen and says, "Poison, or something else?"
Something else.
Kelma just kind of nods.
Oh my god, I'm not going to be able to find that document now. That really bugs me.
Which one are you looking for?
It was a descriptor of where to find certain things. Yeah, it's lost some things. That's fine. He kind of looks around, comes back, he's like, well, I was able to find the Hemslock. Hembane we don't have any of. I've never heard of that one with the D before, sadly. But for what you need of a little bit of lavender, a little bit of hemslock, and oh god, now it's gonna escape me because I didn't write any of this shit down. Bad DM.
I have found it, MTC. If it's
You
the one I
found
think.
it? Yeah, share it to me, please. Thank you.
Is that the right person? That's the wrong person.
Send it to the right person. It's always helpful.
Is that one?
There we go. Thank you. Is that it?
Sorry, chat. Custom potion stuffs.
Oh my god. I can't open that. God bless it. Not the way you share stuff. Anyway, you charge 1 gold piece for the ingredients you're asking for, the 3 that he does have, which was the hemslock, the these are not the half-minded right now. I apologize.
Oh, the MTC, the descriptions of each of them is on my. They're on my
Potion stuff, yeah.
No, for each of the herbs, the description of the herb is on the herb in my inventory.
Oh, nice. Perfect. That worked.
I thought
Thank
things
you.
through.
That's very nice. You are awesome. And this is why you tell your players to keep track of their own shit. Okay, so herbs and herbs. Sorry, inventory. My apologies. 1 second. So the hemlock he has. The Delrian he does not have. The
Okay.
henbane he doesn't have.
Okay.
The lavender he does have. And what was the other one? There was one
The other
more.
one was. No, it's 4 for that one.
The bloodroot he doesn't
Bloodroot.
have. Yeah, he doesn't have. But he does point out that the bloodroot can be found in the northern mountains of. God, I now need a mountain name. Mountain name. Where's the mountain at? The northern mountains of Baratok,
Okay.
which are to the west of town, west and north. But he doesn't have any information about the rest of them, and he will gladly give you this information and the materials required for 1 gold.
Cool. I hand him the gold.
he thinks is a fair price. And the materials that you get, they're not the best quality. Like they should be passable for you to make what you need to make with, but the herbs themselves are much more dried out than they normally are. The bits of plant and things like that are.
Yeah.
They're not the finest. Like it's not like you got it from somebody who knows what they're doing. You got it from this guy. And as he goes to kind of brew and make some of your potions for you, Kelma, Brandon, make a insight check for me.
Insight check.
Shopping episode. So much fun.
I love shopping.
I mean, it's so much fun. So you're kind of looking at what he's doing, and he mixes some liquid here, a little bit of a dash of this there, kind of puts it into this larger vase and starts shaking it up and making it mix and things like that. You're not exactly sure what he's making. You're pretty familiar with a potion of healing and what it looks like. This thing has come out a little bit greenish yellow, but he does make enough of that to fill 3 vials.
Can I? Probably not with that insight. Could I tell at least if it was poison?
You can discern that it's not necessarily poison.
Okay.
It didn't. None of the ingredients that you saw going in were ingredients for a poison.
Okay.
You're just not too sure what he put into it.
Okay.
But as best he can tell, he kind of slides the bottles towards Kelma with stoppers in all 3 of them. He's like, "This is how much I can make."
Helmal looks at the items. You know, he doesn't have any potion or like he's cooking. He's a cook and a monk.
Yeah.
So he's just like. So I kind of do a glance.
Damn it,
over.
Jim! I'm a cook, not a potion maker.
Exactly. I just glance. I pull out my only healing a potion, my only potion of healing, and I just try to match, look like the coloration, like, and I ask the shopkeepers, I'll go, so what's the difference between this and this?
The red one in your hand is made with magic. Magical properties. The ones made here, no magical property. I work with what I've got.
Interesting.
So, any side effects?
None so far.
Come on, puts the 18 gold on a table. Go, what is your name?
He kind of smiles and bows just slightly. My name is Simon.
Simon. I'll remember that. And just puts the 18 gold on the table and puts the 4 potions in his pocket.
Potion question mark. It was 3, but potion question mark. Yes.
Potion question mark.
Potion question mark.
I mean,
Oh wow. Potion question mark.
Yeah.
I mean that's the way you said it, not me. You said potions.
Is it potion?
Okay.
It's
Well,
potion
you-
I thought you
question
were
mark.
telling him to put potion question mark in his inventory, and I was like, oh fuck. Okay.
No. Yeah. So
Yeah, like what added as?
add potion question mark. Well, I'll make an item for it later. I'll just keep track that you got 3 of them.
Okay. I thought it was 4.
He was only able to make 3.
Oh, okay.
So he wouldn't have charged you the 18. He would have charged you 15.
15. Okay.
You split it with him. Or 14, because you had bargained down. So you
Yeah.
split it with him and give it 14. Okay, so just take 14 gold out of your inventory. I'll add 3 potions of that later.
Okay.
And he kind of just like nods, smiles. Will there be anything else? He's kind of like wringing his hands together a little nervously. But
I look over to Gwen. I'm like, anything?
Nah, I think we're done. Thank you very much.
All right. Kamal just walks off, and then he just kind of heads over to the clothing store real quick.
Clothing store is up.
Right. So, yeah,
Because
clothing store.
I'm assuming this is all taking place while Osgood is hammering balls.
Yeah, Osgood's hammering away.
Yeah.
So now down to Trovic, because this is where Trovic went with the cat.
Yeah, Trovic's playing with the kitty.
The large minotaur walks over to the cat that's sitting on the edge of this fence, and the cat just kind of looks at Trovic a little awkwardly. What are you doing, Trovic?
I'm petting that cat.
For the
As you go to pet
hour.
the cat,
For
the
the next hour, he's just petting the cat.
cat's a little scared at first, but it kind of like rubs out and brushes against your hand. And as you pet it for a little bit and then stop for a second, the cat kind of looks at you, turns its head kind of sideways, jumps over onto your shoulder,
Oh,
kind of walks across your shoulders, across your back, and over to your other shoulder. Just kind of rubs up against your face a little bit, purring in your ear.
It's
And
adorable.
then, after
It's
a
not
few
gonna
moments of
continue.
this,
Mhm.
it kind of jumps down and begins walking in this direction. Kelmon, make a perception check for me
Okay.
as you were walking to the clothing store. And Gaynor, what are you doing?
21.
I was gonna head to the weapon shop.
So the weapon shop is the armorer, same place that
Yep.
Jingle Jangle's cleaning away.
Bang.
So 21. So as you're walking up to the clothing store, you notice that this cat on the corner is kind of staring there watching you, and then kind of crosses the street back past you. And you kind of walk into the clothing store. Brandon, I need you to make a check for me. Perception check.
He was petting Strahd.
And Strahd was into it.
I know.
And before, this is the act that saves the campaign.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I was going to kill you, but your Minotaur
Trovic,
gave
as
really
you
good
watch the
plans.
cat kind of walk away, Gwen, you notice the cat seems to be walking across the road in front of you, and then kind of steps up onto the sidewalk as well. Trovic, you notice another cat jumps over the fence from over here, and kind of starts making its way up behind these commoners, kind of walking in this direction. One is like a tabby cat, the other's a small black cat, and another one is a white and black fur coloration mix. Branwyn, you see the cats kind of walking and doing, and then your attention kind of gets grabbed by the sound of armor clinking from behind you as two large, well-armored guards and a much larger man standing in front of them kind of come walking down this street. Boom. And as they begin to walk down the street, the gentleman in front, and you see this with your perception, he looks like a large man, except there's one difference. One of his arms is grotesque and almost transformed, almost abomination-like discolored, has claws on the end of it. Looks almost otherworldly, and he kind of points to one of the guards and signals him towards one of the buildings. The guard kind of runs up and pulls off a flyer off the wall, and then just reaches into his bag and puts up a different flyer in its spot and hammers it in, and then returns back to the gentleman. The other one does it to the other side of the road, same way, and then they continue to move on, placing flyers here and there, and moving about and going on and doing it, and kind of cross past in front of your path. One of them drops the flyer that's currently in his hand.
Can I pick it up?
Sure.
Gaynor has
See
morphed.
what it is.
Gaynor has morphed indeed. So you would see the flyer of the thing, And where's the thing? Here's the thing. Do I have handouts? I have handouts. Here we go. So you see the flyer that reads, "Come one, come all, to the greatest celebration of the year, the Wolf's Head Jamboree. Attendants and children required. Pikes will be provided. All will be well. The Baron."
Okay.
And they continue walking and proceeding to do this up and down.
You're taking the cat with you.
Yes, the cat was coming. The cat moved of its own volition. Sorry. As that's happening, come on, you go to the store. Trevik, what are you doing? Cat's kind of walked away from you. You got about one more thing that y'all are doing before he's finished doing his thing. So
I'm gonna actually go up to where Kelma is.
So the clothing store as well. Okay, boom.
Yeah.
I'll move you up there. Okay. Irina's kind of gonna stare at you, Bramwin, and just be like, "It's very strange. What's that piece of paper you're holding?"
Just gonna let her read it.
Okay, and she does. You notice the cat has jumped up onto one of the carts. This one is still just sitting at the corner. The two of you kind of go into the clothing store, Kelma, and then you're followed in shortly after by Trovik. You meet the same lady, kind of greets you all. It's like, hi there. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I need a couple things if you have it. One, do you have any type of face covering, like a rag or something that I could use that I could cover my my mouth or filter just in case I go someplace?
I'm sure we could find a piece of cloth that would work for that. Yep.
Also, and Kelma just kind of leans forward on the counter a bit. Like, I'm looking for almost like a thick cloth that I could put around my neck and a cloak, if you have one.
She kind of shows you to the very same cloaks that Gaynor had seen. Browns, greens, midnight blues, blacks. And she can provide more or less a thick scarf for you.
Yeah.
In some of the heavier wintry section of the store itself.
I grabbed the midnight blue cloak and the scarf.
Okay. And the bandana altogether, or the face covering more or less,
Yeah.
come to 9 silver.
Okay. I put the 9 silver, and I kind of do a glance around just out of curiosity because I know my robes are kind of tattered, to see if I see anything that kind of looks like my robe, because it's not like I have an insignia or anything on them. It's just
right. It's just like a well done robe.
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, you could probably find some less tattered version of your clothing. It wouldn't be exact match color-wise or anything, but it would be a little more put together, a little less ripped and ragged. She could sell you that for about 4 silver.
Yeah, and I grabbed that too. Just
Coloration of it would probably be like a drab color, probably like greens and like a dark green or something like that. Maybe maybe 1 or 2 tones type thing. But yeah, and Trovik, as you kind of walk in, she's just like, oh my. Well, certainly don't see a lot of your kind around here. What can I get for you, sir? I assume you're a sir, and she kind of like starts to look for signs that you're a sir.
Wow.
Quickly, strip.
I mean, he's a barbarian. I don't know what he's wearing. His cloth description's never been much of a thing. It's not like he's wearing pants.
Yeah. So you said for my stuff
do you
about
know he's not wearing
25 silver
pants?
total, or?
No, it's 9 silver and 4 silver, so
Oh, okay.
13.
13 silver. Okay.
Modest, doable.
Man's wearing cargo jeans.
Yeah, I know.
He could be. That's why he has no donk. These are the issues,
No.
man.
Yeah.
Anyway, she addresses you, Trovik.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, like, I assume you don't have anything for me. I was actually just here for my friend.
If you're looking for something, I might be able to stitch something together. Wouldn't want you to catch a chill in these parts. Or those parts.
Thanks.
My God.
If you change your mind. And she kind of walks back behind the counter. Okay, so that's you guys shopping. Unless you want anything else or want to continue shopping.
No.
When
That's
everything's said and done, can I pick up a couple things from a general store? If they even sell these things.
Sure, we'll
I
talk.
totally forgot there's a general store.
There's a general store. And you could all head there together, I'm sure. That would probably be the play.
Yep.
Gaynor, what are you doing at the Armorers?
So I'm gonna start by selling my what is it? It's a I had the wrong window open. I'm sorry. I have
You're good. I don't like shopping sessions, but sometimes it needs to be done.
right.
Yep.
My ritual dagger.
Okay. The armor kind of looks at it, just a right fun waste of metal. That. Give you 8 silver for it.
Various clanging noises from the background.
Clink, 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 tink, tink.
Sound of runescape.
I'll deal with it later. I don't know where it is in my inventory. Anyways, sold 8 silver. I'll take that. And then I want to look around the shop and see what I see. Like what's there.
It seems like just general bits of armor, mostly for the town guard. It seems like this is one of their main suppliers. You see a few pikes, large pikes on the wall. They seem rather dulled and not sharpened. A few basic weapons, a couple swords, a few daggers. Nothing out of the ordinary for real.
No like light armor or anything.
I mean, yeah, there's light armor. Like it's not the best light armor. It's just kind of like, he's not really a leather worker. It'd be like medium armor.
Alright.
But
Then there's nothing I need here. I sold what I wanted to sell.
I mean, the bowyer might have more leathers or studded leather or something like that, which you might be looking for.
Who?
This building here, the bowyer.
I'm heading over there then.
I continue my pouring of metal.
Yep, and you're just about done. Kelma and Trovik, as you kind of exit the clothing shop, you see. And I'll actually do this because why not? I don't know. Things. Sorry. Layers. Boom. There we go. Don't you be yawning on me, fool. Ain't good time.
I'm the one who has the right to yawn. Shush.
Yes, you stop it.
I was up until like 5 a.m.
You're good. Yeah, we was all up till 5 this morning. You'll be alright. Branwen, make a perception check for me. Kelma and Trovik, make a perception check for me.
All right.
Gaynor, you walk into the bowyer, and easily enough you could find a gentleman that's there. He's meant a few words, but he's selling armors and bowstrings, a few arrows, things like that.
Okay.
Crazy. You could find a studded
Oh,
leather.
fuck.
or something.
I'm an idiot.
Okay, so perception checks were in order of don't see anything, and sees everything. Okay. Stop.
Alright.
I read bottom to top if you can't tell. Kelma, you look over in both directions and you notice there are some people in the stocks down near the fountain right across from what you can see is a crier's platform, you see what appears to be a town guard standing on the opposite side. You see 2 women, 2 men, and 2 children that all seem to be locked in the stocks down in this direction. The 2 men have, you know they're men based on their body shape, but you wouldn't recognize it by their faces. They have large leather versions of donkeys' heads kind of stretched
What?
over their heads,
Hmm.
Oh no.
almost like hoods or masks. They all seem to be pretty rough right now, as far as things go. Osgood, about this time you're finishing up, and the 2 of you kind of go into the bowyer and do your thing. Kelma, you also notice there's a lot of cats in this area. Like a prevalent number of cats.
Hmm.
And they seem to be gathering in this direction.
And like you said, run here.
Yeah. Right around there.
Okay. I just turned to Trovic and I'm just like, are you noticing what I'm seeing? I've seen
Answer to that
cats.
would be nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I was like, and I started pointing out all the cats gathering in the corner, and then I turn around and I go, I've seen people in stockades before, but what's with the mass? I thought this was a town that could be some sort of normality, but this place is getting stranger and stranger.
Oh, it's good. We probably come up at this point.
So I take I'm looking at the cats, but then I just kind of move over to where the people are, and I go up to the guard actually, and I just kind of casually ask him like, I don't really care why they are in the stockade, but I'm new here. What's with the mass?
Well, those, they're to humiliate the fools for committing their crimes.
Was it high crimes?
Depending on who you ask. You ask the burgomaster, he'll say they were high crimes.
I just kind of and I walk over.
They're
Oh, sorry.
all 6 of them in the stocks for. Sorry, right here. Boom. Here we go. Oh no, we're due.
Uh-oh.
We're
We're due.
Climb up onto a pile of wood.
It all just disappeared, and now I can't find
I
it.
think that's the gallows.
Oh, sorry?
Anything. Oh, sorry, I found it.
Quiet platform.
They're all in the stocks for the crime of malicious unhappiness. We don't tolerate it around here.
Malicious unhappiness.
I glanced through
Yeah,
it.
you heard it.
Come on, better be careful.
Come on, just kind of.
Sorry. And Kelma, now that you're here, you do notice what appears to be a large pile of sticks and wicker being kind of piled up in the center of town, and what appears to be a large brass bell, as well as the statue in the pool of water. Like there's a fountain and a statue atop of it that you kind of walked past, all in the center of town here.
Helma just looks around and just his first instinct, he walks up. Well, before he goes, he looks at the guard. He goes, "Can you talk to these people?"
As long as you don't do anything stupid, I don't see why not.
Yeah. I just walk up to the child. And I lean down on my knee and I just kind of, I go, child, looks like you're in trouble. What did you do?
The kid just kind of looks up, famished and hard of breath. He's just like, I didn't do nothing. Honest, I didn't do nothing.
I'm going to insight check the child.
Make an insight check.
Get an insight check, motherfucker.
11.
The child may or may not be innocent. Kind of looks over. He's like, it wasn't me. It was them. And he kind of nods to the left and to the right, to the woman and the man on both sides of him.
Kelma just stands up. Like, I've heard that story. I go up to the man. I go, looks like the child is blaming you for something. What's going on here?
Through the muffling of the donkey mask that he's wearing, they lock up anybody who apparently talks bad about that asshole of a burgomaster.
Ah, that's what's going on.
And nods, good nods.
It's not like we did anything wrong. We're just living. If you can call this shithole a life.
So, if you just... Did you try to rise up against them, or were you just talking stuff?
Nobody tries to rise up. One of his toadies, or one of his lackeys, heard me talking shit. Been in here for 4 days. My whole family has.
Interesting. I just get up, and I walk back to Zarovich, and I just kind of say, well, this seems to be one of those places where you gotta watch what you say at all times. I hate these places.
I'm not too far either.
And I'm still looking and go, what's up with these cats? They remind me of the ravens.
Cats are nothing like Raven. What do you mean?
Look like they're following us. I don't like this. And I just...
Okay.
I go
So-
down to Gwen and I
They're in the
basically
shop at
kind
this
of
point.
oh, you're in the
They're
shop.
in the shop at this
Oh.
point.
Okay.
As you kind of walk in, the two of you, you're looking for leather armor. The bowyer can provide it easy enough. He's a man of few words, but he can provide it for you. And then Gwen, you got the 40 bolts for 2 gold, standard prices. And leather armor's 45 gold, standard price as well. They're not trying to do anything. They're just trying to make an honest day's living. He seems pretty genuine about what he does. The store doesn't have much in it other than bowstring, arrows, and a little bit of leather armor, but it's a modest living for this guy. He seems to do all right. And you kind of exit out of the store. What are you doing, Chi? General store?
I will do as much, yep.
Okay, so give me 1 second, because you're all kind of like gathered here, so let's say you're
Yeah.
gathered here for a second. Kelma, what were you
As
saying?
Oh,
Sorry,
I
he
just
was in the-
yeah, I'm just I just kind of like just talking to them in general, just passing on about the people in the stockade and kind of why they're in there.
As I sort of pass by and I sort of overhear it, I'm gonna look over at the rest of the group and be like, "This is why you want to watch what you say in this place. Understood?"
Understood loud and clear.
Aye. And he gives a grim nod, like this is not the usual cocky sort of vibe from him. He's very I wouldn't call it uncomfortable, but very anxious in this place. Very fidgety. And he sort of moves on.
Meanwhile, Bramwin is smiling quite nicely. A bit menacingly.
So if you're going to the general store next, it would be down here. So heads up on the ping. Yeah. And as you're walking by, I need everybody who's up here still, because you kind of walked down that alley. I need all 4 of you, Gaynor, Branwyn, Kelma, and Trovik, to make one more perception check for me.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, man, it's getting worse.
Oh no.
Travik.
Wow.
The rest of you guys are kind of paying attention to the stocks and this travesty that seems to be before you. As you all see, the gentleman with the crooked hand and the remaining 2 guards kind of walk out of the alleyway and up to here and start conversing with this guard. And you're kind of more focused on that. Trovik, you look behind you after Kelma had mentioned the cats to you, and you see right here that this manhole cover lifts up and slides just a bit out and offset. And then within a moment, it's almost hard to believe, but 4 cats all wedge themselves down into the sewer hole. Disappear.
Rise of the mega cat.
The manhole slowly slides back over itself.
That's weird.
What?
It's Pennywise all over again.
I know.
I'm gonna go over and investigate.
We all purr down here.
Oh god.
Are you lifting up the manhole cover?
I am.
God.
I mean, I'm
Okay.
not even around here. Oh god.
Okay.
Oh,
As
no.
you lift up the manhole cover and look down, you see about 20 feet down or so, and you see a small ladder that kind of leads down. The manhole's decent size. It's not really Trovik sized. It's just a regular sewer hole cover type thing.
I'll
And you see
right
down.
back.
Yeah, you're good. And you see down what appears to be a flat platform of sorts at the bottom of this stepladder type thing. And then you can hear a slow rushing and sloshing of liquid down there as well. That's about all you can see before the light kind of dims and fades away from your view. It appears to go down to what amounts to be a sewer system of sorts. You don't see any cats at the bottom.
Where'd they go?
I mean, you can only see so far, so it's like your dark
Mm.
vision's not what it needs to be.
Are you saying that I probably can't go down there after them?
You might be able to squeeze down there after him. Yeah, sure. Let's make it a squeeze game.
Oh god.
I mean,
Kelmos is watching Trovik with just extreme confusion right now.
God, what do you do to measure a squeeze?
Is this like a Pooh Bear situation? Where down there?
Kind of, depending on which way you're going. Are you going feet first, I would assume, and trying to squeeze like your upper body in because you are a minotaur and arms are big. Make a dexterity check for me. See if you can try and like wedge your body through the sewer system. Because once
Please
you're
tell
down
me
there,
it
it's big enough, but the hole is not. Yeah. So as you start to kind of climb down and put one arm down into the hole with like your legs down, and then kind of try and like slide your shoulder down and get the rest of your body down, your horns kind of catch and click a little bit, and you kind of have to lift your head back out and turn a little bit. But yeah, you can feasibly start climbing down this sewer.
As I watch,
I need to. Sorry, apologies. Okay.
Jesus.
They all seem to be pretty focused on their conversation. Okay, so the rest of you kind of look back up after talking and kind of looking down at the stocks and things like that. Kelma stepped back a little bit, and he just seems to be looking down the road. And the rest of you kind of look at Kelma and then look over to what you're looking at. As you see the horns of Trovik descend and disappear into the sewer system.
Dear Lord.
I just look at
Is
everybody
she
else.
back or is she still gone? Because I want to get his general store stuff out of the way real quick.
Oh,
Unless
Oh,
he's
yeah,
coming back. He stepped away, so he's fine.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I look at the group and just kind of do that big old like shrug, like don't bless me.
Oh my god. Oh, the turns for the best.
Someone had better tell Osgood that we're going on an adventure.
Irina's like, well, I guess I should be the one to do it. And she kind of like walks off in the direction this way and then kind of behind this pulpit thing and further down. You've already started walking. Gaynor, I need you to make a perception check for me.
Gotcha.
Hi.
Chi, you were at the general store, but while you were at the general
Yeah.
store, Irina is coming to talk to you because
Okay.
Trovic has just climbed down a manhole. Gaynor, you notice the guy with the wonky-looking arm
Yeah.
carrying eyes towards Irina and kind of looking at her and almost staring at her the entire way she walks around. She doesn't notice it, but you notice that he is like looking at her.
Huh.
Like intently looking at her. And he kind of pushes this guard out of the way to keep eyes on her as she walks toward the general store to you.
God.
And kind of Irina kind of gets to you and just your Minotaur friend.
Yes.
He went in the sewers?
Why?
The
God damn it, Jovic! And I start
Bramlin
moving
said she
down the
was
street.
following. Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
Fo-
and you
follow,
can kind of
follow us, I suppose. Thank
okay,
you.
so you guys kind of dash this way toward that. Gaynor, what are
Yeah.
you doing? You stepped.
Oh, I was just watching him, so I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, he
everywhere.
would have stepped down and like kept an eye here, and then as she kind of went around the corner, he would start to walk back.
Alright.
But it catches you as nothing less than odd. Trovic, you
Yep.
are no longer on this map.
I'm
And
jumping down.
You're already
reluctantly
down.
I follow.
I'm lowering myself and then dropping.
I'm
I
still
run over
there.
and slide.
I am extremely amused right now. I'm not going down the sewer right now. I'm just watching everyone else go down the sewer, just kind of like laughing.
Oh my god. Okay.
I go
So-
down.
Back up.
Let's go.
Oh, this is beautiful. Irina's like, should I wait up here? Are we all going down?
Probably worth following us. I saw somebody following you.
You would not have seen
Oh,
that.
wait.
Osgood.
I wouldn't.
I would have seen
No,
that.
that was Gaynor.
Oh. I
That's
kind of
Gaynor making the
internally,
phone.
like, if a guy's just wandering back and forth down the street, I figured I would have been.
You
Alright,
attract a
fair
lot
enough.
of attention. You should probably come with us.
Yeah, that's sort of what I would have been thinking.
Yeah. I was just saying because like you were focused on shopping, and then Irina
Yeah,
just comes
yeah.
up to you and is like, "Hey, like he went down the sewer," and it's like, "Oh, fucking Trovic," and ran off. That was
Yeah,
kind of what I
okay,
interpreted.
that's
so
that's fair. That's fair. Yep.
that's
nope,
how I
not
interpreted
a
it. So,
problem.
cheers. So you're going
perfect
down.
sense.
Gaynor, you're still up top. Kelma, you're still up top.
Yeah.
Irina's gonna kind of like, oh, if we're going in the sewers, I guess, and she's gonna climb down the ladder.
This is the-
I just bought these boots.
And all the fine clothing and everything else.
I'm gonna do a perception check around to see if anyone's noticing that there's a group of idiots decided to just go down into a sewer.
Make a perception check.
I mean, we're on like a main road. It's not even a side road.
Yeah. No, it's not a side road. It's definitely a main road.
Yeah, I was just like
The center of the town square
the,
right here.
the
You were
center of the town
literally-
square, and there's these group of people.
Hold on, you were literally 80 feet from the center of the town. Yeah. Yeah, I would say, yeah. Make a perception check. This is fucking hilarious. Excuse my
12.
language. You look around and you see some common people just kind of looking in your direction. The guards down the way seem to be conversing once again. They don't seem to be looking at you.
All right. While that's going on, I'm actually gonna go back to the people. I'm gonna walk up to the first woman, and I'm just gonna lean in closely and go, "Hey,
That's
What?
a little girl.
That's a little girl. Okay,
Yes.
I go
Little
to
girl.
a little
The
girl.
women are in the middle.
Oh, the woman. Okay, I look. Then the girl go like, "Hey, so seems like your entire family got in trouble from what your dad did. What's up with the cats?"
What cats? There's cats all over the town. The hell are you asking me about cats for?
I just go, I don't know. You live here? You're locked in a box. I figured you're a good person to ask.
Can't run away.
Are
He
you?
just kind of shrugs through the stocks, if that's possible.
I look around, and this is the first time I'm actually going to start looking at the guards, and I go, do I recognize, like, are they looking set up an execution, or are they just there?
No, they're just there, patrolling, taking down flyers, putting up different flyers, and there seems to be one guard on watch.
Okay, because I just saw the basket, and I'm like, oh, you guys gonna get your head chopped off.
No, the basket was earlier described as a pile of different wicker and
Oh, gotcha,
sticks and bits.
gotcha.
And that platform is a crier's platform. It doesn't have a executioner's block or anything like that on it. Just seems like where somebody would make announcements for the town type thing.
Maybe they'll just.
It's more of a platform in the center of town. It's just in a weird spot because
Gotcha.
maps and things.
Gotcha. Well, then I just stand up, and I just kind of look around at the whole situation, and I just start walking my way back.
Okay. So, is everybody good to push till 7, or should we stop here?
I mean, I'm okay to push to 7, but I don't know about you guys.
I'm asking the other
What
people.
time is it right now for you guys?
It's
6:20.
6:20.
I'm
Is
okay
the
to push.
sewer
up
thing
for
gonna
ya.
be a whole thing, or?
Sewer thing's a whole thing.
Hmm.
I mean, we can stop now. That's fair, because
If you want.
it'll give us time to do
it,
stuff for
it
next
might be
weekend.
best, yeah.
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 So, as Trovic has climbed down, I'll wrap it up with a narration. As
Please.
Trovic has climbed down into the sewers first, chasing after cats, he's now in the dark sewers and kind of just reaching along the wall, kind of slowly pushing his way forward. He sees no cats. The remainder of you running after Trovic, one by one, descend. Branwyn, Irina, Gaynor, Osgood. And as Kelma is walking back from the stocks, the rest of you are now down in the tunnels. Trovic's about 20 or so feet ahead of you guys, and as you've gotten to like the bottom of the ladder, you all kind of gathered. He's going on trying to figure out where these cats are. None of the guards have seemed to notice you go into the sewers. A few of the common folk did, but nobody really said anything. And as you descend, a heavy smell of sewage, water, rot, and just a grim overall feel kind of takes you all over. And that's where we're going to stop the session. We'll pick back up
No
here
worries.
next week.
Awesome.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Shenanigans.
You know that 1%.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Did I do it again?
Always. No, but actually this was prepared for by different things.
Okay, good.
Okay.
No, I prepared all this stuff. Like this was a very well prepared session. And I overwrote, which is good because now I don't have to write this week.
Okay.
'Cause now we have extra shit.
Yeah. What you call it?
Which is the whole point. But the thing is, y'all could have gone anywhere in this town, so I had to have everything written,
Gotcha.
or at least somewhat prepped for.
Nice.
But that was fun. Good job, guys.
Yeah, no problem. Now we're going into a sewer after we just bought new clothes.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Hell yeah. That's the only way to break in new clothes, man. Come on now. You know this, man.
I guess the benefit here is technically I know my way through the streets above ground. I'm hoping that maybe, just maybe, I can keep our pace underground as well.
Oh,
Knowing
you
the
saw him?
general direction.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't think you've ever been in the sewers of Valaki before.
I doubt it, but having some.
As a
knowledge
man of
about
God,
this
I don't think you
should make it
patrolled the sewers.
Yeah.
But-
And on top of all that, the only reason I went to the lady because I was like, because you know what happened to Kelma earlier in the session that I got kind of taken away and seeing all the cats. I'm like, damn it, did the cats like hypnotize the Minotaur? I'm like,
Oh no! Oh god!
I'm like, did the cats
Oh,
like? Is
no.
there something with these cats?
He went
The
after the
cat
cats
was,
of his own volition. I had nothing to do with that.
He just saw pretty kitties. That's-
I mean, the kitty was his friend, and then it ran off. He was following the kitty. I don't blame him.